Last month, 15-year-old Jack Dolan said goodbye to his mum, Lisa, and stepdad, Dave, and headed out to enjoy a summer's day with his friends and his girlfriend. What happened that day changed the family's lives forever.
While with friends, Jack attempted a flip into the sea from the pier in Margate, but failed to resurface.
Yeah, he spent 8 minutes underwater and needed to be airlifted to hospital. A month later, he's in a hospice, alive, but with extensive brain damage.
Jack's mum, Lisa, and his stepdad, Dave, both join us now. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us about this, because it's actually quite raw. It's only a month ago.
Yeah.
Is it 33 days he's been in hospital now?
Yeah.
First of all, tell us a little bit about Jack, because he sounds like he was so much fun. I know he had ADHD, but that was like his superpower, wasn't it, Lise?
Yeah, he was just really wild, and he was like the kindest kid you could ever meet. Like, we'd have to jack-proof things. You'd go in and you'd have to be very careful because he was 100 miles an hour.
The jack-proof thing?
We called it jack-proofing. So as he was younger, we'd make sure things were attached and windows were locked. And we always had to be like a step ahead with him. But he was so loving. Like, he was crazy, wasn't he? But he was...
But in a good way.
Yeah.
He was, you know, there was no aggression, was no... He was just a... I'd call him, he was lovely, but he was annoying. Because he didn't stop talking, he didn't stop asking questions, he didn't stop moving.
Yeah.
And he could make a friend in any room, no matter who it was.
They're all great qualities, aren't they?
Oh, we had a neighbour, she was very poorly. She was 60 years old, and he'd say, I'm just popping around the Karens. We'd have to ring him because he'd be round there for 3 hours, helping her with her jobs and talking
watching
to her.
TV and...
and then at the other end, I've had messages from 4 different parents saying how he taught their 3-4-year-old kids how to ride their bikes. Brilliant. And it didn't matter where he was, he made a friend anyway, absolutely everywhere he went. And had good friends, because with the ADHD, he had no filter, he had no... So he'd want to know how much you weighed, where you bought your clothes from, what your parents' name were.
Really?
But he'd also tell you, so you couldn't... We weren't allowed secrets, because he'd tell you absolutely everything just to talk. But it meant he made friends everywhere. Yeah. Everybody loved him. Like, nobody...
credit to you.
Yeah.
So let's go to that day and tell us what happened, because this is the first time you let him go to the beach without you. Now, it's very important to stress this, and it was interesting. You would always do assessments with him, wouldn't you? When he was diving around, jumping around, like you said, you have to jack-proof things. But you'd always say...
Oh, look, I'm the worst for it. I'm a big kid myself.
Yeah.
If he's jumping off something, 9 times out of 10, I'm doing it. And there's a video, so that we put a video up to show that he did it a lot. But you could see the difference in if you've seen the video that's online. I walk up to the edge. I have a little look. I walk back as I'm kicking my sandals off. I've made sure it's safe.
Yeah.
He said, Dad, can I... He's not looked. He's gone, Dad, do you want me to go first? Go on, and then off he's done, and he's done his front flip, and he's jumped. And...
He's active, isn't he? He was really active.
Yeah, really, really active. But we'd assess it. Like,
yeah, you'd have a look.
I still do them things myself. Like, and he was my best mate. We did the stupid things together.
Yeah.
But I'm there to assess the danger and make sure he's safe afterwards. That's the biggest thing. His friends couldn't have done any better. Yeah. They were brilliant. One was in the water, one was on the phone to the Coast Guard. His girlfriend was on the phone to Lisa straight away. So before he even came out of the water, we were in the car on our way down to Margate. Yeah. They couldn't have, but as an adult being there, I know that I'd have swam to him. Yeah. Where that's the only thing that was missing.
It's important to stress this, though. It's not like he didn't jump and hit his head on a rock. He didn't jump. There wasn't anything submerged. No. This is literally just like a complete,
freak
accident. Just the way his head hit the water.
He knocked himself out.
We think he knocked himself out, or winded himself. So because he was floating. Yeah. And when he was floating, obviously, being a 15-year-old, they thought he was messing around. Sure. I think we would have thought he was messing around because bubbles were coming out of his mouth. So you still assume that, obviously, that shows that he's breathing, and it was only when he sunk that his girlfriend realised that something was wrong. Yeah. And obviously by that point, with the current and everything, he wasn't where he sunk, kind of thing. So when everyone was looking for him, they couldn't find him. Yeah. Because when she phoned me, she went, he's in the water, and I was like, what do you mean he's in the water? And then
so I was you were on the phone to his girlfriend, and you can hear what she's saying.
Yeah. And I said, well, tell him to get out. And she was like, I can't. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, he's in, we can't find him. And I was like, have you phoned 999? Have you? She's like, yeah, we're doing it. So I was probably one of the first people they called. And even then, so I was like, OK, we're coming, we're going to get in the car. And we started heading up towards them, and she rang me back, and she was like, we still can't find him. And then they'd pulled him out while she was on the phone to me. And I said, is he breathing, is he? She said no, and she was just crying. She didn't know what they were doing.
Goodness.
And I said, just talk me through it. I said, because I was like, what's he doing? What are they doing to him? She was like, I don't know. I said, what's it look like? Can you describe it to me? Because I knew what I was looking for from the paramedics. And she was just talking to me through what they was doing. And originally they said they were taking him to Queen Elizabeth, which I knew then. It's not a trauma hospital.
Yeah.
I knew we had no pulse, and we knew what was coming. Right. And then on the way up there, we got a phone call to say, change of plan, we're airlifting to King's. And they arranged they found out where I was, that was my location, using the signs on the motorway and that. And they took the car reg, and they arranged to meet me. And they literally got me from a random roundabout, unmarked police car picked me up. They got me there for the helicopter.
Thank goodness. I mean, we should stress the fact that a kayaker was kayaking.
Saved his life, really, right?
And went and swam and retrieved him.
He's the reason that we've got him back. If he weren't there, the current would have took him, and we'd have been pitched up at Margate Beach waiting for a body.
Yeah.
The Coast Guards couldn't find him. Nobody could find him, and the kayaker, who wants to remain anonymous, got out of his kayak, got on the pier, asked one of his friends where he'd gone under. He watched the current. He turned about 30 degrees and dived in, and managed to get all the way to the bottom and came up with Jack.
In the first, we went down and brought him straight up. Whoever this man is, we don't know ourselves.
That's a real life.
But he has
You haven't
changed.
met him at all?
He doesn't want to be...
Yeah, but I thought...
He doesn't want to know.
No, I did give up, the police asked him, I asked him to give him my details.
Thank God he's done that.
Whoever he is, he's amazing, and he's changed our outcome.
That's a hero there.
Yeah.
So how is Jack now? How is he doing?
So we was obviously originally told that he wouldn't be able to possibly cough, swallow, his eyesight, everything, basically.
Yeah.
He was going to...
We were told... the first brain scans, we were told that he was brain dead. Obviously, we've been told 3 times, we've been told to call the family to prepare to lose him.
3 times?
3 times. Each time, he has come back stronger than ever. Now, this is why he's in such a grey area, because children's bodies don't cope with what he's coped with.
Yeah.
He's so strong, and where he's always been active, he's always come to the gym with me. He comes to work with me, so he's physically strong. Mm-hmm. And kids' bodies don't survive what he survived. So his body's so strong that it's just fighting everything, and do the improvement. He's surprising doctors. We were told he was brain dead. Then we were told he'd be in a vegetative state. He's now...
He's spoken to you, hasn't he? He said something to you.
When he was in pain the other day, I was holding his hand and trying to coax him through it, because we was waiting for him to have morphine, waiting for it to kick in. And he just looked at me and he went, help. And I was like, we were told he couldn't even swallow, let alone speak. We never thought we'd get words again. Even at best, we were thinking, we might get to take him home for end-of-life care, because obviously once you're in that kind of state, your body doesn't last long because you're not moving it. Well, now he's proven everything to be wrong. He used the right word in the right context at the right time. Yeah.
It shows cognitive skills, which is we were told he wouldn't have. We were told he was, like I said, brain dead or vegetative. He's used the right word in the right context to the right person. Much like when your toddler swears, and although you don't want, it's not good. Yeah. Because the scenario's not good. But when they connect that word and use it in the right context, in the right place, it shows intelligence. It shows which means there is something there.
We know you need some help. There's a fundraising campaign set up to help. But what would you want to say to parents about letting their kids go out? I mean, you guys have done nothing wrong.
I don't think I would. Although I wish I didn't let him go that day. Ultimately, he was going to be 16 in a few months. You can only hold them back. And I think that's the thing. You can warn them all you like. I think it is down to the teenagers to have that conversation with each other and just be like, if we're going to do it, we're not going to be silly. Yeah. Because if you have that conversation and you just see the signs for something going wrong, I think you can put up signs, you can tell them not to do it. Teenagers will do whatever they want to do at that moment
I'm
in
an
time.
adult and I still do it.
Yeah.
So teenagers are gonna, but they need to be a buddy system. If you're going to do it, make sure someone's in the water next to you. Make sure so there's someone. Just check your mate's all right. Even if you think he's being silly, go over and give him a poke.
Yeah.
and then if he is being silly, bash him when he's out of the water.
Listen, thank you so much for coming and talking about this story.
Best wishes as well. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with his recovery.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning. Has become known as one of Britain's most inspiring women, a campaigner, a best-selling author and a voice of recovery and resilience.
Well, in recent years, she's made it her mission to encourage youngsters to be more confident. And following on from the success of her first children's book, Katie Piper is back with a second. This is Together We Are Stronger, and it's great.
I so appreciate you dressing to match the book.
I look at this.
Honestly.
Thank you very much. It's absolutely perfect.
What a beautiful book, though. It's absolutely stunning.
It's really great. I said to you just, I was like, I'm going to steal this because my son will absolutely love it. How was it to write a second one?
Yeah, I loved writing it. The first one was this character, Teeny Mouse, and she's female and she's small but mighty. So it's all about don't judge a book by its cover. You don't know what somebody's capable of just by looking at it.
Sounds like you.
Oh, well, thank you. And you too. I think it's all of us. Like, you don't know somebody until you spend time with them and you see when they're tested. She's come back in this second book and she's on this mission alone and she has her own weaknesses, which is okay. And we introduce all these new characters that are like her woodland friends. And they have things that make them unique and they have things that make them diverse, but they are their strengths. And they find out that actually in a group we can achieve so much more. And as a community, we're so much more powerful. Hence the title. Together We're Stronger.
It's like a superpower, really, deep down, isn't it?
I think so.
We were talking to Sam Thompson yesterday about superpower and our diversities are our superpower.
Yeah, and not feeling less than, and that actually, what is a complete person? Like, some people flourish in one area, others don't. Yeah. And if you can delegate and lean on people, then you can achieve so much more.
It's kind of your ongoing theme, isn't it? Together we are better, together.
That's what I tell my husband. If he does the housework and I come here to this morning, together we're better, you know?
Has he done it?
Not yet, you know.
It's funny, like we were just saying, it's like we're on telly doing this thing, and I literally in the break a message from my wife going, the coffee machine's broken, what's going on? And I've got to go home and do the coffee. Together we are stronger.
It's true, it's true. Do you think there are going to be more of these teeny tinies?
I hope so, because I've always written adult books and, you know, like my messaging has always been about affirmations, positivity, mindset.
Love that.
Yeah, and as I became a mum, I wanted to get that message across to my kids, but turns out like a 300-word book isn't that interesting to a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old. So having a picture book with illustrations and text was a way to get that conversation going with them. So I would love to do more in that space, yeah.
Are they like your editors for your books? Are they your biggest critics?
I mean, they're like my trolls. Yeah, they literally see the first edit and they're like, boring, don't like it.
Are you serious?
You know, they're like consultants, but it's good getting them involved early on and also showing them the different things that, because they're daughters, young girls, different jobs that women can have. So they're like my editors, my copywriters, they're my sketchers. So, yeah, it's a team effort.
We need these young girls, don't we? We need them in our lives. They help us throughout our life.
Exactly, your harshest critic, as you say.
Yeah.
Another project you're really passionate about is the online safety stuff. And this started after your daughter was approached about it?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm working with Virgin Media O2 and Internet Matters on a new online safety campaign, and it's called Find the Right Words. And that can kind of be the barrier where we don't know how to approach this subject with our kids, or maybe secretly we don't have the knowledge about the internet ourselves, so we shy away from it. I thought I was quite savvy because I use social media all the time. I consider myself young at 40 and connected.
You know what's going on.
Yeah, so I thought I was safeguarding her, and she was on an online game where I disabled the online chat feature, and somebody, like another player, commented on her score and congratulated her, and they had the username of a YouTuber that she loves. So she's only 10, so she got really excited thinking she was talking to one of her heroes, but the conversation quickly sort of escalated and it was actually an adult. So she shut the device down and she came and spoke to me, which I'm really grateful for.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, and it was tempting to like tell her off or put my own panic onto her, but I tried to say, look, this is what the online world is. People can impersonate each other. It's not always what it seems. And that actually led us to talk about how things can escalate quite quickly.
But it's interesting because she actually had it in her mind to come and speak to you about it. So she probably had that feeling deep down that something wasn't right anyway.
Yeah, and I said to her, look, this is really important to trust your gut, you know, and the campaign has created these 2 guides. One is around how do you talk to your child, what's the right language, the right tone, asking open-ended questions, maybe using news articles and scenario-based chats. And then the other guide is, what do you do? The practical stuff, the parental controls.
Especially
tools.
if you're not computer savvy,
Yeah.
you don't actually know.
How do you limit
Do you
that
think
stuff?
parents should know and should know what's going on and should know how to use the technology that their children are using?
I think it's important to have knowledge, but I think it's also worth saying there's nothing shameful about using devices. They are good social tools, they're educational, they're part of modern day, so we don't want to shame parents.
Yeah.
And I hold my hands up to say I got it wrong, and I'll probably get it wrong again because it's evolving all the time. Like, you think of stuff like AI and deep fake, you know, that is like
Scary, isn't it?
audio, video, impersonating not just celebrities, but friends and family. And you might think you're talking to someone you know in the real world when you're not. So you got to stay abreast of it. You can't bury your head in the sand, that's for sure.
Why do you think it's so hard for parents to be able to talk to their children about this sort of stuff?
I think if you lecture your children, they automatically switch off.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it's about navigating it together and having open communication. And it's not just predators online. There's a whole thing of, like, body shaming, cyberbullying. You know, they're real friendship groups going online and having all those kind of politics and problems. So I think it's something you need to have the dialogue open in the house, and that it's never too early to talk to your kids. You know, I talk to my 6-year-old about it as much as I do the 10-year-old.
It's interesting.
Thank you
You're obviously
so
doing a great job of it, and it's really petrifying. And I think you're just dealing with it really, really well. So,
Well, the positives are that there's lots of help out there. And I think in your friendship groups of, like, school mums and dads talking to each other and educating each other as well.
Exactly.
Because together we are stronger.
Absolutely.
See what I did there?
Thank you.
Congratulations on the book, and thank you so much for coming to talk to us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Katie.
Hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning. Happy already?
I'm
just
happy.
watching that.
Florrie is here now with her parents, Stacey and Andrew. Morning to you all.
Good morning.
It's so lovely to have you on the show. It really, really is.
Do you know what? You've made everyone so happy today, Florrie. Everyone is buzzing because you're in the studio today. You've just made today, and we've got you a little Barbie there. Do you like her? Is she lovely?
A wheelchair like me. I've got a wheelchair Barbie at home.
Have you? We've got another one now, ain't you?
I got a wheelchair Barbie because I was like, I've got a wheelchair, and you never really see disabled Barbies, but now Barbies have got so much disabled ones. I love that they have.
You love
that
it. I
too.
love it too. And it's so lovely to have you here.
It's really, really great.
Is. It really is lovely. And we're joined by Mum and Daddy as well. We got Stacey and Andrew.
Good morning.
Take us back to 2022 because it was an awful time. You were diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. Very, very scary. It's like a type of cancer in the blood, isn't it? Really, really awful. Tell us about that time. Did you know that she was unwell at the time?
It happened really quickly. It just started with constant temperatures, and a Calpol would bring the temperature down and then it would come straight back. So every time I took her to the doctors, her temperature had gone because she'd had Calpol and she was happy. And but then little infections kept creeping in. So I'd take her for one day, it'd be one infection, the next day it'd be another infection. And they would treat her for that infection at the time. But by the end of, I think it was 11 days, she'd lost her legs. She was just couldn't stand up. She was very weak. She was in pain.
You knew, didn't you?
Yeah, she had ulcers all over her mouth. Her gums were really swollen, which is a typical sign of AML.
I had something wrong with my finger.
She had an infection in her finger. And I work for the hospital, and luckily one of my friends had said, "You're not imagining this. You need to take her and just say, I want bloods done.
Yeah.
Don't leave until they're done," which I did. And thankfully, they did them.
And Andrew, like, Florrie's so positive.
Yeah.
Was it true that she actually was comforting you in this
They phoned me, Stacey phoned me at work, and then I sort of rushed straight to the hospital. And as I ran in, obviously trying to know we needed to be as positive as possible, but obviously couldn't fight the tears when I first went in. And Florence wiped the tears off my face when I went in and said, "Daddy, you'll get a headache." She said, "Stop crying, you'll be fine, it's okay." She said, "Stop crying." So that was like the first thing she'd said.
I said, "I'll be okay."
Yeah, you said you'll be okay, didn't you?
So hold on a minute, Florrie. You're going through all this. You're not very well, and you're looking after your daddy.
When Daddy came in, he sat there and he was crying, and I just screeched over to Daddy, and I was like,
Wiped my tears.
You are such a special young lady, and I'm so glad because she got treatment straight away, didn't she?
Immediately.
She got the chemo straight away,
Yeah.
what she needed.
Yeah.
And then you had a bone marrow transplant, and that was successful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
now I've got a broken back.
You haven't.
It's not because of that.
Yeah. So what we're looking for something else now. She might have to have. Is it a liver transplant?
It's a lung transplant.
A
She needs
lung
double
transplant.
Yeah. All of the treatment has unfortunately caused a lot of damage to her lungs, but it was the only way we could get her cancer-free. But yeah, now she needs a lung transplant.
And that's why you've got your oxygen tank, haven't you? And that goes everywhere with you.
Yeah.
And you're going to be on the waiting list very soon, is that true?
Yeah, so she just needs a couple of immunisations, then she'll be on the list, and then we can't be more than 4 hours away from London, just ready for that call at any point.
Florrie, how do you do it? How do you stay so positive with all of this stuff happening?
Well, I really like to be with my family and everything, and it really helps me and stuff. And I just like to think about the good stuff and try and have as much fun and stuff.
And you're an online superstar now with your TikTok videos. How did that all come about? When did that start?
Well, we were in hospital and we thought, oh, maybe we should try and like do this because hospitals, we try and show people that hospitals are not just about sad stuff. You can have fun there too. So we tried one TikTok and then it just blew up. So we were like,
we were having fun doing them, weren't we?
We were having fun and everyone else enjoyed it.
I do like doing a bit of TikTok, and as I can see, you have a lot of fun. And it just makes people so happy, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. And it's great that you're sort of showing people that, you know, that optimism is so important, and you're so inspirational. Honestly, it's so amazing to just have you here, and even the fact that you're beaming with a smile now. It's just, honestly, it's incredible to me.
All of the incredible support and comments we've had on all of the TikToks really helped us as a family sort of just get through it all as well. Seeing that wave of support from everyone was amazing. Yeah.
And you've got the Be More Fab charity. Now, what does it mean, Be More Fab?
So Fab is my initials, because my name is Florence Ava Barr.
I mean, obviously, Fab. That makes a lot of sense.
Can be pretty fab.
And you've made a charity now, haven't you? And you've raised so much money.
Yeah, so originally, our town were absolutely fantastic. We needed to raise money because we were originally going to be potentially going for treatment was abroad. Yeah. Because they thought her options in the UK might be limited, so we were advised to fundraise at the time. Our town helped us raise over £500,000 in a month, which was unbelievable. And outside of our town too, the support was incredible.
We can see, like, wherever you go, she just spreads love, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Everyone just falls in love with her.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Flora, did you go and see Taylor Swift recently?
Yeah.
How was that?
I really loved it.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, I'll tell you what. Have you seen The Masked Singer before?
Yes.
You've seen The Masked Singer?
Her brother loves it.
If your brother loves it, well, I would love you all to come down and watch the show. It's filming in September, I think. I'll treat you all. I can introduce you to all the guests and all of the panellists. You can meet Jonathan Ross and all of that stuff. And it's honestly the best day out. You'll have a lovely time.
I can invite you back to this morning and give you a tour backstage. You can come back here again anytime you want. You could do a TikTok with me.
Yeah, that's what we want. We were speaking about that earlier.
We're definitely
we might do a TikTok with you later.
Oh, what we're going to do? You're going to tell me what to do. You tell me what to do. I definitely want to do a TikTok.
Flora, you also love painting and stuff, don't you? Right?
I love art.
Do you?
We've got a little present for you. Ooh. We've got a lovely little hamper.
Oh,
wow. We've got yes.
That's a big hamper.
All from our friends at Hobbycraft. You love a hamper?
It's a big hamper,
It's
that
a
one.
big hamper.
Wow.
That's all for you. You can do so much art there, can't you?
I love art.
Oh, we love you. We love you.
Genuinely, Florrie, I've got a 10-month-old child, and so it's the idea of anything happening to Wild is just devastating, and you've dealt with it all so beautifully, and you're such an inspiration, and I really love that you guys have come in. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for having us. Thank you.
Flora. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
The BBC struggles with the biggest Strictly crisis in the show's 20-year history. Paralympian Will Bailey becomes the latest celebrity to speak out against the show.
Competing back in 2019, Will was forced to withdraw 6 weeks after sustaining an injury during rehearsals.
To find out more about this behind-the-scenes experience, we're joined by Will live from the Paralympic training camp in Slovenia. Hello, Will. How are you?
Good morning.
Hey, thanks for having me.
How's the training going, Will? How's it going?
Going so well. I feel so ready. Bring on Tokyo. Sorry, Paris.
Tokyo.
Tokyo tracksuit on.
You're not in Tokyo, are you? Just make sure you're not in Tokyo, because that would be awful. Quickly, Will, overall, so how was your experience on Strictly overall?
Overall, I've got to say it was unbelievably positive. And one thing that I really want to get out there is Jeanette was unbelievable. I worked so well with her. We're both so fiercely determined, and we both wanted to win, and we gave it everything. And she eked everything out of me that she could have done because I was rubbish at dancing. And I owe so much. And she made me feel so good. Overall, it was good. Obviously, some things that I said have been taken out of context a little bit. I think there's a lot of things to learn from my injury and from the fall, from jumping off the table that I did, and I don't think that's on her at all. But I do think, and I'm called, people have said I'm woke for saying this, but I think people with disabilities like mine, I've got severe arthritis in all 4 limbs, and there has to be some kind of someone to help those dancers, because it's a massive burden to have to take on to look after someone with a disability. But it's great. It's great that the show sort of want people with different disabilities in, but they have to be protected as well. And I don't think that should all go on the dancer to do that. I think there should be some kind of expert to look on and to look after those people, because, and me speaking out, I'm not going to, it is what it is, but if it does help one person to not have an injury like mine, then that is unbelievably good, and that's unbelievably positive. And I just wanted to say that, really.
Well, Will, let's go back a little bit, because I can remember the first few weeks you were absolutely incredible, and you really enjoyed your time on the show, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, thank you. I loved it. Yeah, I felt like I was in a dream, to be honest. I felt like I was out of body experience, because for a table tennis player, for a nobody like me to get on a show like that, I felt so grateful, and I felt so honoured. It was just it was crazy how big it is. I mean, I was just Paralympian, and when I got on the show, everyone knew who I was, and I was just it was surreal.
Well, you was a Paralympian, and with that comes, you're competitive and you're driven and you want to do absolutely everything. So tell us what happened when you got that injury. What led up to it? What was going on? Yeah,
so I mean, we were practicing the dance, and it was my favourite dance. I was so gutted I didn't get to perform. I was Casper the Friendly Ghost, and it was the jive. We had the jump in the sort of, I knew there was going to be a jump, but we didn't practice it in rehearsal, and then I did it in the dress rehearsal, and that's when I jumped off the table in the dress rehearsal, and that's when the accident happened, and it was just really, obviously it was traumatic for me, because having a disability anyway, having Tokyo coming up, that obviously got delayed since, so I was so lucky about that I got a chance to compete. It was hard. It was really, really hard for me at the time. Obviously, I mean, I've been through a lot worse. Everyone who knows my life stories knows that I've been through a lot worse. But I mean, it was still very challenging, especially on that massive, like you say, everyone knows about Strictly. It's a massive show. under that sort of scrutiny, then not being able to walk for 6 months, having that recovery time, feeling lonely at times. I mean, it was mentally hard, not just for me, but probably more so for my family who had to put up with me struggling.
And what was
What worries me is how can we learn from this? How can we support people with disabilities going into these shows? And again, I'm scared to say it because I sound woke saying it, some people say, but I mean, Jesus, if you can't say that, then I don't know what you can say, really, to be quite honest.
But what was the care like on the show after you received your injury?
Well, I was grateful that they covered my surgery. I think it was just, it was, I just felt that it was like, there wasn't a lot of communication after the surgery, and it was just like, get on with the recovery, and like I just felt there could have been a bit more there. And I felt like immediately after my fall, I did just go to a hotel room and I got ice put onto my knee, and I just felt like if that was my daughter or something, I'd like her to be taken to hospital and checked out straight away. And I had to sit there all night, and I was calling my mum, and I'm not a baby, I'm an adult, but like I was put in a big situation under a lot of stress. I was put in a hotel room after tearing my ACL, and I felt like that probably wasn't the best move. But like, just that's just my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm deluded, but that's how I felt.
But Jeanette,
I'm not bringing this up. Can I say I'm not bringing this up now? Like people say, you're joining the bandwagon. I've written to the BBC, like not me personally, but I've asked someone to help me write a letter.
Will, don't worry.
People say I'm joining the bandwagon. I've had loads of people, like Strictly supporters and stuff, saying you're disgusting for joining this bandwagon. My situation is so unique. Every disability is so unique, and I've said this for years, but like because there's other things coming out, people are starting to listen to what I've got to say for the first time. But like I've said this for years, and also internally as well. I did write a letter and all that stuff. So I just wanted to say that because I've had so many people like so negative about what I've said, and it's not about that. It's how do we move forward with it? I mean, it's really not my personality to be negative. I just want to move forward, but like learn. Any good corporation would learn from these kind of mistakes, and I've got to live with this. I've got to live with this injury, forever. Like, so I have to deal with it, and I think some kind of responsibility, some kind of sorry would have been amazing for me to hear. Amazing, it would be really nice.
It must be so difficult to speak out on something like this. How do you feel about speaking out about it? Does any part of you, you say you're getting some sort of form of backlash and stuff, do you regret it, or do you think it's worth it for what sort of can help in the future?
Not really. I've been through a lot worse. I mean, I can deal with people's comments, and I think if it helps disabled people out, I'm not just saying in Strictly, but in the workplace. Yeah. No, a bit. I mean, I just think that it is harder for people with a disability going into any kind of situation like that. I mean, I'm just speaking on behalf of myself. I don't want to speak on behalf of every single disabled person because everyone's so unique. Everyone's got their own needs. But on behalf of myself, to go into a situation like that and to be put in a situation like that, I believe is really not great. And I wouldn't want someone else to go through that, have to make that decision for themselves. I think there should be more support around those sort of people because it is challenging. It is more hard, and there are way more like dangers for people with physical disabilities, like more than the normal people. But I'm also quite openly will say that people can get injured anyway. Like the injuries happen, but mine could have definitely been avoided. I believe if the right care was in place, and I hope it changes. That's all I want, really.
And by all means, we know we're not beating up on Jeanette. She was a great pro, and I think there is a lot of pressure on the pros to be wonderful. And I know she checked up on you as well, didn't she, when you wasn't very well?
Yeah, amazing pro. She's been so, she was so supportive during the show. We all, like I said, we're both so competitive, and we wanted to win, and she wanted to push me. She wanted to get the best out of me, and that's what you want from any kind of team. Really, that's what you want from any kind of teacher. She was so professional, so supportive, and very talented presenter, and I want the best for her for sure.
Well, Jeanette has come with a spokesperson. Jeanette had a great time dancing with Will, and one of her favourite moments on the show was doing their contemporary couples choice. Her celebrity partner's safety and enjoyment was always a priority throughout the time on Strictly. Jeanette has never received any complaints and has maintained friendships with all her partners, including Will.
And the BBC have also got a right to reply, and they've said, we have a long-standing protocols for dealing with injuries if they occur, and that includes contestants receiving all necessary treatment and support as required. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. You've been absolutely, and good luck with the
Paralympics.
Yeah, it's going to be so great.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for the support. Try and get the gold medal.
Yeah, get the gold, Bob. Get the gold.
Love you, buddy. Wonderful stuff.
Thanks for joining us, Will. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning. Our next guests are huge social media stars, but their videos might not be what you expect.
Borefluencers film themselves doing everyday mundane tasks, and we are joined today by 3 of the UK's most successful. Hey, guys.
We've got Samuel Wolfenden, who is known online as the Hoof Guy. There he is, hoofing around. He gets thousands of views on his horseshoe videos. Wow.
It's so good. I'm obsessed with it. Whereas Yves Way turned his pressure washing business into a social media phenomenon. There it is. So satisfying.
Yeah, and then our third guest is Ria. Says that she's now earned a whopping 6-figure salary. What? Thanks to her videos opening and playing with children's toys.
Morning
the nicest nails ever.
I know.
Morning to you all.
Morning.
Thank you for joining us. We'll start with you,
Thanks.
Sam. You're a farrier.
Yeah.
I checked you out last night.
Yeah.
Got into a web of social media. Probably lingered a little bit longer. Might have been there for like 15 minutes when I only expected to be there 1 minute. Really, really interesting. Tell us a little bit about, for people who don't know what that is, what does your job involve?
So my job's, I'm a specialist in equine hoof care. So my job's to maintain the health of the horse's hooves the best I can.
Yeah, and you've trained for this as well, haven't you?
Yeah, you train. It's a 4-year apprenticeship. And I've been doing it for myself now, like nearly 16 years. So,
wow. And when did you start posting the videos online? Was that
probably about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
I just put a video because there's not much out there. And it got quite a good reception, so I just kept doing it.
I mean, farriers don't normally look
at this.
like this. They're normally a lot older. They normally keep their tops on. Was that just a one-off?
Hey, do you know what? It was really hot.
Or was it really
30 degrees.
hot? Yeah. I mean, if you want to take your top off, you've got to take it off. If you're hot, you're hot.
It's a hot job.
It's a hot day,
When you're hot, you're hot. You know what I mean?
Floor, look at that horse.
No, but
it's unbelievable.
It's 771,000 followers.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, no, it's
unbelievable.
Real. I honestly can't. But, you know, I'm grateful that everyone loves watching it and tunes in. I've got a lot of time for everyone that does. And I really enjoy doing it. I really enjoy making the content now, and it brings a lot of awareness about the trade. Not many people knew what a farrier was or what it involves. I had friends for, like, my whole life, and they were like, I can't actually believe that. I knew that was your job, but I can't believe that is your job. So it's been great.
It's so addictive, honestly. I love watching these videos so much. Because there's a beautiful craft to it as well.
Yeah.
And there's something about the process when you, I don't know the technical term, when you steam it on.
Yeah, burn it on,
I love it. So I'll literally be up watching these videos late at night. My wife will look over at me and I'm like, and I go past the naked ones of you and then I carry on.
Yeah, keep going.
It's like, it's honestly,
you're checking out the body. Come on.
I'm there for the hooves. I'm there for the hooves.
And you're so lovely with the horses.
Yeah, well,
so
that's
lovely.
an important side of it. Like, my horses are all the same. I look after every month because it's usually they're on a monthly cycle. So, like, I've looked after some of these horses for like 10 to 15 years.
Oh, that's lovely.
They like seeing you. Do you know, like, you pull up and they'll win in, like, they know I'm there, and then the nicer you are with them, the nicer they are with you, so it's great.
And Yves, let's go on to you, because you're into the pressure washing side of things.
Yep.
And again, very, very satisfying. I watch those videos. I like to see a good before, like really dirty, and then a good after. How did you get into this? And how much dollar are you making now, Bob?
Doing all right. I used to have a kitchen renovation business. During the midst of COVID, the logistics of that got quite difficult, so I needed something else. And I was walking my kids to school constantly, and I could see driveways that needed cleaning. So I figured, right, if I like pressure washing, I've done it at home before, I can offer that service. So initially I started making videos so I could promote that as a business, and then they just took off. We had sort of millions of views and lots of interactions.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But how do you make the money? Because a lot of people at home are like, well, how does he make the money if he's just on Instagram? How do you...
Currently, we make money through sponsorships. So companies that want to work with us, then we have to sort of pick and choose who they are rather than just going for anybody, because we want to offer value to the audience that are choosing to watch my content. But we make a subsidy income like that. And then, obviously, we get paid for the services we provide when we're cleaning as well.
And so do you make more money from the Instagram now than you do from the business?
It's up and down. It's
Wow.
up and down.
Wow.
But the benefit is mine's very much sort of you're under the elements of the weather. So if it's pouring with rain and I can't work for any reason, I can make a video indoors, I can post it, and we might be able to earn some money doing it that way.
It's unbelievable. And Ria, you make a 6-figure salary with your business. It's YouTube.
Yeah.
And you're unpacking and playing with toys.
Yeah.
And just showing your hands, really.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you get into this? Because you was a teaching assistant. How did you get into it?
Well, I've been posting like consistently for like a year or two, but then one day I was at a store and I saw this egg that you put in water for 24 hours and it would hatch like this surprise. And I thought, oh, that's different. I'll get that for a video. And I popped it into water and said, you know, come back tomorrow. And the whole video just blew up, like millions and millions of views. Everyone commenting like, roll on tomorrow, can't wait for tomorrow. And then I just thought, maybe there's something in this, like this whole mystery surprise element. Like maybe there's something to this that could work long term. And then people started sending in requests, can you unbox this? And it just took off.
There is something quite soothing about it when I'm watching them. It's just like, there's something quite lovely about like this. Like you do a lot of the ASMR stuff on it as well.
Yes, it's relaxing as well.
Why do you think people are attracted to your videos?
I think that ASMR is definitely an element because, like you said, it like relaxes people and it's like addictive to listen to. But also, I think it's just curiosity. Like people always want to know, like, what is in these mystery bags? What is in this egg? Like it draws people in. Like they need to know the answer.
Wow.
And have you got 30 million subscribers?
13 million.
13 million
on YouTube.
I'm picking you up. By the end of today, it'll be 30.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And then how do you make the money from that? Is that from advertising?
Yeah, so from brand deals and sponsorships. And then also on YouTube, they put like ads at the beginning of the video then, and you get like 45% of that revenue. You share it with YouTube.
And have you just given up being a teacher now?
I have, yes. I never went back after lockdown. I just thought, let's see if I can do this. It's so fun. I love being creative.
Did you think it was ever going to become like this?
Never. Like when I first joined, I didn't even know you could make an income from it. I don't know whether I was naive, but I literally had no clue. I was just doing it for fun and to be creative, and it just all took off.
Honestly,
you know what? I think fair play to the lot of you.
Honestly, it's incredible. I'm so addicted to it. I think it's brilliant.
Keep smashing it, and we love watching you. Thank you so much for joining us on the sofa. We really appreciate it.
I'll come along for a day of hoofing. I want to do some.
You should do that.
Yeah, I really want to. Thank you for coming on.
Do some pressure cleaning with us.
Oh, you should definitely. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
He stole the nation's hearts when he was crowned the King of the Jungle, and he is the smiliest member of our This Morning family. But Sam Thompson says none of it would have been possible without his ADHD.
Yeah, Sam is now teaming up with ADHD UK to help positively change what it means in the lives of people who have the condition. Sorry, I'm just getting a bit confused there because I wasn't supposed to read that.
You're still thinking about sunburn.
He joins us today. Sam Thompson is here. It's so lovely to see you. And you did win our hearts in I'm a Celebrity. We absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
And do you maybe put that to the fact that you did have ADHD and did that help you?
Do you know what? I've done a lot of things recently, a lot of videos where I say ADHD is like a superpower. And I genuinely do believe that throughout my life it has helped me gain a lot. And there's a lot of negative stigma around ADHD, which I just want to change.
Yeah.
I want to be like, no, there's so many positives there as well. And I genuinely do believe in the jungle when I was out there, you know what it's like. You have the energy and you want to speak to people and it gets real boring in there. So you've got to do something. So I would attribute some of it to it, yeah.
But I love your enthusiasm. I love how excitable you get. I love the fact that you hug longer than normal. You know what I mean?
I love a lingering hug. Did I just say this?
I love that.
John knows.
When you first went there, I can't remember who you gave the first hug to when you went into I'm a Celebrity. I absolutely... I absolutely love the fact that they were a little bit awkward. They found they were like, oh, God,
and
what's going on here?
Back to tell them to get off.
It's so genuine as well. I think that's what people love about you. It's like this infectious enthusiasm. I remember when you first came out, I wrote you a little note, and I was just
the nicest thing ever, by the way.
Oh, that's a pleasure. And I just think it's so lovely to see someone who's genuinely lovely doing well. How was your ADHD in terms of your education when you were younger?
It was a struggle, mate. I'm not going to lie. It was bad, actually. And I remember I once cried into my textbooks at school. I'll never forget that. I basically was trying to revise. I tried to be a good student, and I would sit in my little room, and I'd open my book and be like, here we go, this is it, you're going to do it. And I'd read these things, and none of it would go in. I was just reading words.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't understand how everyone else can do this and actually understand what's happening here. And I would get distracted by everything. I'd get distracted by the words themselves.
Yeah.
And my mum would completely be wandering all over the place. I remember just being like, I'm never going to be able to understand or revise for anything. And the only time I was ever good at a subject was if I really loved it. So if I loved something, this is why I would say this to the young people that I see on the street and stuff about having ADHD being a superpower. I think when you adore something, I love classical civilization. I love my ancient Greek myths.
Did you?
Like Stephen Fry is like a hero of mine. And so because I'm so invested, I love Harry Potter. I know all the lore. So I do all the deep dives into the lore and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a proper nerd. So all that stuff I am so proficient in. But anything that I actually don't find interesting, I struggle so much to even slightly understand it.
I think what it comes down to, isn't it? It's like different people want to learn in different ways.
Yeah.
And so, like, some people learn a certain way really well, certain people just... And because the education system is one particular way for one particular type of person, that's what makes it really difficult, I think.
It is. And also, I think I was probably the last generation where no one quite knew what was going on as well.
And every brain is different. You know, it's not just about how we learn because that's just how we learn. Every brain is different. And so all of our brains are wired slightly differently. They all process information slightly differently. And there is no one set way of learning. It's why you need to have loads and loads of different options available.
Yeah.
So, Anna, with someone who's got ADHD, is there lots of different types of people and how it affects people differently?
Absolutely. There's no one size fits all. It's like a cluster or a whole set of traits or symptoms, and everybody has a different mix, and not even everybody has the H. So some people will have ADD, which is the attention deficit and the difficulties with organisation, concentration, having the multiple tabs open in the brain, struggling with those areas, but not have the kind of buzzy energy, say, that you have, that hyperactivity component, because the H stands for hyperactivity. So it's not even the case that everybody with the attention deficit issues has the hyperactivity component.
Do you know what as well? I think a big part of joining ADHD UK, the charity that I'm involved with now, I think is to more for me to reach young people and use my platform for them because it's... Look, I say it's a superpower. I'm very aware, by the way. There are a lot of struggles that come with being neurodiverse. Like there are that you've got to navigate. But I genuinely believe, and this is only my lived experience, but I genuinely believe when you've got like 8-year-olds coming up to you and like their parents coming up to you with their kids, being like they were bullied at school and now they've watched The Jungle and they think that it's a better thing. Like, I don't want to sit there and say to a kid, hey man, there are going to be struggles. I want to say the positives.
Yeah.
And I want the kid to sit there and be like, do you know what? This is actually, there are good things to this as well that I can set my mind to.
Yeah.
I worry that there are so many, they have a negative opinion of themselves once they get this diagnosis. And yes, there are struggles, but there also are so many benefits. I genuinely believe that if you set your mind to something that you absolutely love, you'll be the best in your field.
You'll fly.
So yeah, I really do believe that.
I think we've got some footage, actually, of you in your ambassador role, talking to some youngsters, I think we do.
Absolute superpower, I promise you. Put your mind to anything and you'll be amazing at it, as long as you enjoy what you do. And then, being neurodiverse, the best thing ever. I'm neurodiverse, I've got ADHD. And that means what could we be? ADHD friends. Yeah! Exactly.
Oh,
everyone's
so
using
lovely.
it everywhere.
I'm wearing the same outfit, Joel.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry about that.
So nice. We'll get you a new shirt. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. That's so lovely. And that child is going to remember that forever. You know, it's going to really set a course for her.
Mate, it's one of those things where, like, I know it sounds corny, but, like, I want this to be my legacy.
Yeah.
Of being in this industry and stuff like that. It's the thing that has struck a chord with me the most. And meeting these really young people, like that girl was so sweet and her mum was so sweet.
And she'll never forget that moment.
Do you know what? And I hope she doesn't, because she, God, I don't know, I'm tearing up a little bit. She was like feeling a little bit bad about it. And I was like, no, it's just not bad. Like, you are the sweetest little girl. You've got the best life ahead of you. Like, utilise it for the right reason, for, like, something that you absolutely love, and it's going to be amazing for you. There are negatives, and there are struggles, not negatives. There are struggles with it, like there are with everything in life. But when you're that young, I feel like you just want to hear the positives.
Oh, Sam. That's
you
so
know?
lovely. And obviously he got diagnosed. For anybody out there who's waiting for a diagnosis, what would you say to them, and what treatments are out there for them?
So you can have therapy, which is going to be about kind of learning some organisational skills, some really practical strategies to manage so that you can get through the day more easily. For kids who are at school, can get through school and cope a little bit better. So there's the practical component, there's the coming to terms with it and understanding how your brain works and how it's different. And then, which is really important, and that's where diagnosis can be so helpful, because suddenly it makes you feel like there's not something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know, you understand.
It's normal.
That's exactly what happened to me, by the way.
You understand. Even if it's not normal, you understand why you do things, what it is about your brain, you know, why you struggle in certain areas, why you don't in others. It's brilliant from that perspective. And then there's, of course, medication. Medication has to be prescribed by a psychiatrist. So if you think that you're going to want to go down the medication route, or if you think you want to consider it for your child, you have to get diagnosed by a psychiatrist. Everything else, you can see a psychologist, specialist ADHD psychologist, without a psychiatrist, but you can't get medication without one.
It's also really important to understand why you feel you need a diagnosis, right?
Right. So exactly that. So if you want medication, you have to have the diagnosis. It's really straightforward. But otherwise, is it about kind of validating your experiences? Because a lot of people feel validated when they have the label, and I totally get that. It's really understandable. But actually, sometimes if you know that you've got a lot of traits and you know that this is likely, maybe you can help validate yourself and go, I'm almost certainly would get the diagnosis if I went for it. I can work as though I do have it, and I can help people to understand that that is the way I am, because I probably am.
Yeah.
So why you need it, why you want that diagnosis is important.
Yeah. Anna, thank you so much for joining us. And Sam,
thank you, Sam.
Just keep using your platform for this, because I think it's incredible.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute honour.
You're part of the family, Babs. We're not letting go of you. We're not letting go of you.
I'm going to Joel's dressing room after this and nick a couple of shirts.
Please do.
There we go. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
And our next guests finally found the secret to a happy marriage.
Yes, that's right. Chloe and her partner Stuart were both feeling stressed after the arrival of their second child earlier this year, but they've discovered an unconventional way to improve their relationship.
Oh, yeah. Stuart has been sleeping in the garden in a tent. I'm here to explain more about the setup. And Stuart, you can come out now.
He's even in the tent here.
Oh, Stuart!
Oh,
hi. Oh,
hello,
welcome.
Stuart. Welcome.
Thanks for coming in,
Thanks
guys.
for sharing this story.
Yes.
So you had your second baby 10 weeks ago. Firstly, congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank
How
you.
is it?
Oh, I'm tired.
Are you tired?
Yeah.
It's a hard thing.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be that tired.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm very well rested.
But the second baby, you've got a toddler as well, right?
Yeah.
So, Stuart, how did the idea to sleep in the garden come about? Because on paper, it doesn't look good for you.
No, I've just got out of my tent on national TV, damn it. It's odd. It was having a toddler and a newborn. There was no sort of zero free time in the day, and the only time I actually had any free time was when everybody was asleep. And so I wanted to try to fit something in to sort of help me, but without feeling any of the guilt of not helping Chloe or doing anything with the boys.
Sure.
So overnight makes sense. Quite
In the garden, so you're not too far.
I'm just as close to his bedroom as I would be if I was in the house.
I'd say crying distance.
Yeah.
If we needed him,
To give context to this, Chloe, the baby's with you, right?
Yes, yeah.
So basically, Stuart would only be next to you, not sleeping anyway.
Right, exactly. And actually, Stuart was sleeping in the spare room anyway because I'm co-sleeping, breastfeeding. There's kind of nothing he can do in the night. So it made sense, rather than being in the spare room, for you just to go and sleep in the garden, something that you really enjoy anyway.
Not specifically sleeping in the garden. Sleeping in a tent.
Sleeping in the tent.
It's like a mini adventure.
It's a micro-adventure.
A micro-adventure.
So where had you heard this before, this micro-adventure?
There's a chap called Alistair Humphreys, a writer and a speaker, and he was in a similar situation where he was like a round-the-world adventurer who then had a couple of kids and was really struggling. And so he thought up this idea of sort of like the 5 to 9, that you fit in stuff around your busy lives, living in the margins of your life. And so bedtime is a margin where you don't think there's fun things that can happen when everyone's asleep, but actually you can.
And to give the whole context of this, you're fully supportive of this, and Stuart isn't an errant father.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
absolutely.
there.
I really should stress this for anyone watching that think maybe he's leaving us alone. I fully encouraged it. You are so much happier when you come in having slept in the garden.
So you've actually noticed a benefit in him.
Huge benefit. And it's a really important issue, actually, like your dad's mental health. I've lost track of the number of people that have asked me after having my baby, are you okay? GPs, health visitors, midwives. No one's asked Stuart if dads are okay. And I've got, if I'm up at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, I've got my gang that can help me. No one's looking out for him. So the garden is.
The key in all this, when I read my brief, was what about the toddler? So does your toddler sleep through?
Sleeps through. And actually,
so that's nothing you need to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. And also, as I said, he's in crying distance. So if anything was to happen, he's also got his phone on him. He could be summoned quite quickly.
Would you take the toddler out in the garden? Because that'd be such an adventure.
Well, so when I initially did it, he was very confused about people sleeping in gardens. But fair enough.
Fair enough. You did take him camping
I
the
took
other
him
day.
camping last weekend up to Norfolk. So now he's got his head round.
Nice.
Yeah.
How was it? Because I really want to. My son's 4. I really want to start him taking
full chaos, But it was excellent fun, Went to the beach, slept in the tent.
So nice.
It was brilliant,
My long-term plan is to move them all out into the garden and then just have the house.
See, this is actually what we're thinking about. Isn't his mental health?
No,
It's completely. This is
very much.
She's just playing the long game now.
So, Chloe, have you ever thought, you know what, tonight, I'm going to go in the tent tonight?
Absolutely not. No. I've got the whole double bed to myself with a tiny baby who's sleeping pretty well, actually. And you come in the morning. I think it's really nice, especially, to be honest, I would say you're a fair weather garden camper. It's been quite rainy recently and it's not been out there. But today, like today, I think you'll be out there tonight.
But is it true that
he's so happy in the morning?
Is he?
So happy. Gets up early.
So happy.
Gets the packed lunches ready.
Of course he's happy because he's had a good sleep. Tell me something. Are you taking this across the road to the park soon?
Well, this is the bit where I sound weird, isn't it? This is why we're on the telly.
This is the bit.
There is a sort of park opposite. We live in a little tiny village, and there's a sort of park opposite our house, but it's just a field that no one ever goes to that's got some swings in it. And so I was just experimenting with being slightly further away.
You could have a walkie-talkie.
I was slightly worried that he was leaving me, but by stealth, just gradually getting further and further away.
Next week you'll be in the next village along. No, I'm still here.
And then if we go to celebrity gardens, like, Gemma invited me to his garden.
I promise. You'd recommend it, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's so easy to fit it in. And so things like going to the park was just sort of dealing with my worries about being away from them. But being away from them, but actually you're
not that far
30 yards from the house.
Yeah, exactly.
No, fair
Chloe,
enough,
is it working for you as well? Because most people are watching this going, well, he's having his cake and eating it and blah, blah, blah. But, to be fair, we've established that Will is 100% there as a father. But it's having that bed to yourself working for you.
Oh, yeah. The bed's definitely helping. But also, I think when you're in a partnership, certainly when you're parenting, you both of you need to be firing on all cylinders if you possibly can.
Especially with 2 kids.
Exactly. And so it's how can we support each other? And this is how I can support Stuart. And I know as well that when my time comes, when I'm not breastfeeding and, co-sleeping, I'll be able to go out and do whatever I want to do, but it won't be a tent in the garden. It'll be a spa somewhere.
You could have mentioned how incredibly supportive I'm being now as well.
You're being very supportive now as well, of course. I think we support each other, and this is one of the ways in which I support Stuart to help me. It's selfish, really, because it does help me as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can see that, because you can see that you absolutely
works,
you adore the kids, you're there, you're putting the kids to bed as well, and then you're just going outside.
He's a brilliant dad, I really should stress that.
Well, we know that, and thank you for sharing the story.
Oh, no worries.
Do you know what? You might have inspired loads more dads to do the same.
Well, so I know it's very funny, and we've got a tent on the telly.
Yeah.
But so obviously Chloe's going through so much, and it's really, really stressful for mums. But having 2 kids now, it's not very often that dads will mention their own well-being or their own mental health.
just not
And
talked
the
about.
idea is that you just sort of suck it
Yeah,
up,
it's
and
so
because
true.
the wife, the mum's going through so much that you feel like you can't do anything about it. So if this, me being
In a tent on
looking
TV.
stupid on telly, makes some dads think about it or chat about
And
it.
talk about it. I
Absolutely.
think it's great.
And that it's okay.
You know what? I'm down with it. Come on, well, let's
You go in the tent.
Guys, we want some me time.
yeah.
We want to.
Yeah,
Go on, go
Let's
on.
go in the tent.
Get in the
Me and
tent.
Dad, are you big spoon or little spoon,
get
Dermot?
in-
Oh, I
get
don't
in
mind.
there,
Wherever you,
Dermot.
I'm new to it all.
Can you zip it up as well?
Oh, yeah.
Zip it up.
Where
Get in
shall we
there.
go?
Zip it up.
Dear Babs.
Well, let's just come and sit by me.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning. Now,
Coin drop.
as the highest mountain in Africa, the 6,000-metre journey up to Mount Kilimanjaro is a difficult undertaking for the most experienced hiker.
But less than 2 years after losing her arm and leg in a horrific accident on London's Underground, it's a challenge that Sarah de Lagarde, I hope I've said that right, de Lagarde has bravely decided to take on next month.
Let's find out from her. It'll make her the first woman with a prosthetic arm and leg to complete the 6-day trek ahead of the huge challenge, and she's joining us now. Did we get de Lagarde right?
De Lagarde?
Yes.
Yay!
Oh, lovely
Nice.
name.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you, Sarah.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for sharing this story, because it is horrific. But I want to know, what was your life like before the accident? Who was Sarah?
I try not to think too much about it because dwelling in the past is not what's helping me. But I had a pretty, I would say, privileged life with 4 limbs. You know, I enjoyed sporting activities quite a lot. My family is very sporty. So, you know, archery, yoga, hiking and swimming. And now life is slightly different. So I had to, you know, adapt to this new situation.
How? I mean, if you don't mind, we do want to go back to find out how it happened. But how you obviously seem to be someone with incredible sort of, you know, mental fortitude and very strong. But how long did it take for you to get your head around the fact that your life had to adapt and you know, you wanted to be that example to your children?
Yeah, I guess in the aftermath, the direct aftermath of the accident, I realised it quite quickly that, you know, especially my arm was going to be a massive change. But it took me a long time to just come to terms about, you know, how my life was going to look like. And I still miss my arm and my leg every single day.
Yeah.
You know, the prosthetics are great, but they're no replacement for your real limbs.
Sure.
So let's go back. It was September 2022. Yeah. Tell us what happened on that day. Where were you going? And tell us the lead up to what happened.
It was such a mundane day, a regular Friday. I don't have a real recollection of what exactly happened that day, but I could piece it together. Went to work as usual, you know, stayed a little bit later because I had a project to work on and I wanted to make sure that everything was set for the weekend. I was meant to fly to Germany to see my dad for his 70th birthday. And then I went home, it was raining, couldn't get a cab, as it so happens in London when it rains. And then I took the split decision to take the tube, which was, you know, that sliding door moment.
Sure.
I was tired. I had COVID the week before, still recovering, and, you know, the warmth of the tube, and I fell asleep.
Yeah. So what? So then did you wake up, change tubes and go back, or that's where it happened?
So you went past your stop?
I went past my stop and then exited the train at High Barnet, realised that the same train was going to get me back to Camden, where I live, and, you know, that's when it happened. I slipped.
So was you rushing to get back to the train?
Not really. I think I just stepped out and turned around and wanted to board the train again. And then I slipped on a wet and uneven platform and fell against the stationary train into the gap that must have been, you know, as large as my shoulders.
And there's no one else there?
Well, there were people there because it wasn't that late on a Friday, but nobody heard me, nobody saw me.
Noticed you? Oh, wow.
No. And so the train departed and crushed my arm. And I remember that moment thinking, OK, that's not good. There was an intense flash of pain, but luckily our bodies are quite amazing. So adrenaline kicked in and the pain was manageable. But I needed to get out of there. I had a vision of my kids' faces in my mind's eye, and I could hear their voices so clearly saying, "Mummy, what are you doing? You're supposed to come home." And that's when that hysterical strength kicks in and you're like, OK, I'm not going to die here.
But then you get hit by another tube coming in.
Yeah. So I was on the tracks for a good 15 minutes and then the second train came into the station and claimed my leg.
And no one heard you at all?
And no one saw me. I was wearing this bright pink coat, and I've got this white blonde hair, and someone...
I suppose you can't speak either because you're in shock.
No, I was screaming. I was screaming for help. And so eventually somebody heard me, and it's, I think it's a miracle that somebody heard me and then, extracted me, that the emergency services arrived, they extracted me from underneath the train, and that's how I got saved.
Do you remember this?
Parts of it, yes. Yeah, parts of it. I must have slipped in and out of consciousness.
Of course, yeah.
But I was determined I was not going to die that night.
And you didn't?
I didn't.
No,
I'm
you
here.
didn't. Okay.
Well, the NHS kicked in and did so much for you that night. That you went straight into surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, when you wake up the next day and then you've got to come to terms with not only losing an arm, losing a leg as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the thoughts? Have you by now spoken to your family?
Yes. So, I mean, the aftermath is quite surreal because, you have medication, so you don't completely panic either, and you don't feel that much pain. But all of a sudden, you realise my life is going to change forever. How do I walk when I only have one leg?
Yeah.
How do I grab things when my dominant hand is no longer there? So, it is a really surreal moment. But at the same time, I was so intensely grateful to be alive.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful, that feeling to think I can still be a wife to my husband, I can still be a mother to my children. That's amazing, in a way.
So you've done Kilimanjaro before.
Yeah.
My wife's been up Kilimanjaro. She filmed it.
Unbelievable.
It is not easy. And it's quite beguiling, Kilimanjaro, isn't it? Because it's such a slog to get there, and you have to walk deliberately so slowly, and the air's so thin, and sometimes it's just a lottery if you can make it up or not.
Yeah.
How was the first time you went up there?
So the first time we did an 8-day trek, and it was tough for sure. And everything you just said is true, that you have to walk really slowly to preserve your energy, and the lack of oxygen makes it feel like you only have one lung to get up there. But I was so intensely happy, and it was the moment, it was a dream my husband and I had for 10 years in the making, and finally we got to do it, post-COVID and all of that.
Yeah.
And I was so happy, and I felt in control and strong, and believe it or not, at the top, I felt I'm invincible, nothing bad could ever happen to me.
Oh.
And then
Sarah,
a month later.
When you get to the top, correct me if I'm wrong, you start out at kind of the middle of the night, don't you? You're coming into, so you almost always get to the top as the sun rises, is that right?
That's right, yes.
Right.
And it's
what a moment that is.
Magical, unbelievably beautiful. But it was minus 20 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
It was so cold. The water in our water bags froze. That's how cold it is. But yeah, it gave me that intense feeling of achievement.
But that's what I love about your story is now you're going to go back, and you're going to go back and you're going to take your kids to show them what's possible, right?
Yes. For me, it is important psychologically to close the loop on the story. It's going full circle. But also, I've talked to my children so much about it that I wanted to show them that life can be really tough. Things get thrown at you all the time, but if you have the right positive mindset and you're kind to people and they come together and support you, then anything is possible.
Brilliant.
And that, I think, is a good life lesson for them.
Absolutely right.
What a lovely story. And I'm sure, obviously, you are climbing Kilimanjaro, but the climb to recover from what you've been through must have been maybe even worse than that.
Yeah, so I joke about this, saying that I've been climbing the highest mountain ever for the last 18 months. And 6 days are going to be manageable, I hope.
Oh, it's so lovely.
Tell us a little bit about the charity you're raising money for when you go.
Yes, so I'm raising money for Stand, We Walk Together. It's a charity that recycles prosthetic limbs and educates clinicians in third world countries, developing countries and conflict zones. And I'm so grateful that the NHS has helped me, that the private sector has helped me so much. I've had access to all of this care, but not everyone has. And so, it's no longer about me. The limbs are never going to grow back, but if I can make a difference to somebody else by, raising awareness, improving visibility and say, if you are disabled, doesn't mean you can't contribute positively to society.
Such an inspiration.
Sarah
honestly.
Diller, God, you are amazing. Thank you so much for telling your story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Lovely
you so
to meet
much.
you.
Hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
65 years ago, Mattel introduced the world to the Barbie doll.
Yeah, from first appearing in her iconic black and white striped swimsuit to becoming the subject of the highest grossing film of 2023, the Barbie brand is universally known and loved.
Yeah, but one fan has gone above and beyond. Meet 53-year-old Rachel Evans. Hello, Rachel.
Hello.
Rachel says she's the world's oldest living Barbie, and she's with us now. Wow, look at that outfit.
You look incredible, but you're only 53, so it's not that old.
Old.
Calm down with the old. I mean, you're not far off that, are
No,
you, darling?
exactly.
Sweetie. Anyway, tell us, where did this fascination come from? Did you even have a Barbie doll?
So the fascination with Barbie and wanting to look like Barbie started in my mid-30s. I was an actor and model, skinny, blonde hair, and at the time, the only aesthetic that I had to work with was the Barbie plastic toy doll by Mattel.
Yeah.
And so that's where it really started, when people said to me, you look like a Barbie doll. And I was like, really? But as my hair got longer and blonder, I looked into the Barbie aesthetic, started doing procedures to get the same contours and the Barbie face.
Because back in the day, before, when you were a kid, you were a goth, right? When you were at school.
Yeah, so I was bullied at school for looking like a China doll because I had very pale skin, dark hair, and then in my teens, I was gothic.
Look at you. Beautiful child.
Thank you. So I was an ex-athlete at school as well, so I kind of escaped the bullies. But during my teens, later I became gothic. So I dyed my hair blue-black.
Yeah.
I experimented with style like a lot of late teens and early 20s people do. And then I had a tomboy phase where I dressed in men's suits because I was kind of going through these like fashion phases. But yeah, it was 35 when I started the quest to look like Barbie.
It's quite old to start, isn't it? 35 to look like
suppose
Barbie. 'Cause you
so.
think, but mostly there'll be a childhood thing.
Do you think it was maybe people telling you that you look like Barbie, and was it a bit of a buzz?
Yeah.
Is it adoration
definitely.
a little bit?
Yeah, it was interesting because it was one of my best friends at the time who said it. I didn't see it at the time because obviously I was a model and I was very skinny, so I think they looked at the stereotypical Barbie. But also to answer your question, I didn't actually have a Barbie doll as a child.
You didn't?
I had a Cindy doll with a broken arm from a charity shop.
So when did it escalate? Like, when did you have your first treatment, and how did it snowball from there?
So my first treatment was roughly about the age of 35. I'd been grieving for the loss of a stillborn baby twin, so I killed...
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. I went into therapy and I'm okay now. But I went into therapy, and during that time I had to kill off the gothic because it reminded me of death. And I bleached my hair, it fell out, and then I started to actually regrow my hair because it had to be all cut off. So I went through that phase. And so 35, I started having Botox. And then the more procedures I had to iron out the wrinkles and lines on my face, the more I was pursuing the Barbie facial, plastic, fantastic, wrinkle-free look.
Yeah.
And it
That's the
went
thing,
into
you'll do one thing and then it shows up something. Like you do decorating in your house, you go, do you know what, I could do that room now.
Yes.
I suppose it's the same with having Botox. You're like, oh, I could
Exactly.
do that wrinkle, that one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's quite addictive, isn't it?
It's addictive, and I was admittedly, you know, I'm going to be doing this till I'm 80, plastic, fantastic, but I carried it through my 30s to 40s.
Yeah.
And to this day, it's only just recently that I decided to work with the Margot Robbie Barbie aesthetic, which is more natural.
Yeah.
So what was that? What was the moment? Because like Alison says, you can go down that rabbit hole and then you commit your life to it. And if people want to do that, then fair play to them. But what was the moment for you that you thought, well, actually, I'm kind of done with this now?
We're done with. So I haven't really said to myself, I'm done with it. I just said Barbie evolves as a plastic toy doll by Mattel. It's inclusive. Barbie's inclusive of all body shapes, skin tones, makeup looks, fashions, heights.
I mean the plastic stuff.
So for me, the plastic look wasn't a day where I said, I'm done with it. I just evolve. And it was like, okay, I'm going to move with the times now, which is a more natural aesthetic, because I wanted to look more like Margot Robbie Barbie, because my best friend, who's my real life Ken, he's my best friend, he said, your lips are too big, your cheeks are overfilled. And I'm like, no, they're not. But then one day I thought, let me just look at this. And so I've not had a lot of procedures, and I'm getting thin lips, less pillow cheeks, and hopefully promote a better message in the media to help women say, you don't have to plump up your lips and get, you know, overly filled and have the plumped cheeks. a natural look is often better.
But do you
I
not
think
think
you look beautiful.
those are
I do.
choices from people? Like, if you hadn't had that kind of moment of realisation for you, we probably wouldn't be sat here, we probably wouldn't be having that conversation. I mean, it's not the aesthetic that I particularly like, but it's not, you know, but I'd never judge anyone else for doing it to themselves.
I think I went too far though, and I've not really spoken about it before, but my mum died of cancer several years ago, then my twin sister committed suicide. So I think I hid behind my face, and I think that addiction to going big lips, bigger cheeks, and not one wrinkle in sight, you know, that went a bit too far. And as I came out of grieving, I think I kind of woke up to listening to people around me who really love me and they're not afraid to say, no, I don't like this. Please think of doing it differently. And that's what I've done.
It's really interesting hearing you that. I didn't know the story about your sister and stuff like that, but it's like it's covering up pain, isn't it? A little bit covering up of pain, I would have said.
It's hard for me to see that. I kind of get a blank page. Yeah, I guess
What
so.
about the Barbie movie? Did you love that?
Yeah, I loved the Barbie movie.
It was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, I saw it before it was released at the cinema because I did a shoot with one of my real-life Kens, Rich Pelly. Shout out to Rich.
Hi,
He's
Rich.
a writer. And so I got to see the movie, then I saw it again. So I've seen it 4 times with my friends, my bestie Ken friend, Steve.
How many Kens you got? You got a lot of Kens.
I've got quite a few best
Got
friends.
a lot of Kens in the locker.
Yeah, I've got different
I've got
Ken
a lovely
friends.
Dermot Ken.
Well,
But they're not romantic. They are best friends.
I'm definitely not your only Ken. Well, listen, thanks a million for coming to chat to us. It's a really interesting story. The Design Museum has launched a Barbie exhibition, which I'd love to, really want to go and see. Have you been down yet?
Not yet. It's on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And good luck with your book as well, because I know you're doing really well with that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
Now, they're 2 life-changing moments. England men's potentially win. I keep saying potentially, but
Keep saying potentially.
Potentially winning a major football tournament for the first time since 1966 and marrying the love of your life.
Oh, so what do you do if both events fall on the same day? That's a predicament for many couples ahead of this Sunday's match.
Yeah, today we're joined by 2 couples due to get married on Sunday. We speak to Jen and Rob in a moment, but first let's speak to Emily and Dan.
Emily and Dan, congratulations,
Hello, Emily and
guys.
congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You must have. When did you actually find out that your wedding was on the day? Who brought it to your attention?
It was Dan's little brother.
Yeah, my little brother John T. He let us know that we'd booked our wedding on the Euro final day. So Emily wasn't particularly too happy with that at the time, but I reassured her that we'd come up against a good French team or someone like that, and we wouldn't be there. But here we are now, watching.
That's the thing.
Little did we know.
At the start of the tournament, I was thinking, well, I mean, they're not playing particularly well, and everyone's getting on their backs, and you probably thought they weren't going to make it to the final. And then, so you must be like some of the only people in the country that weren't cheering for them to get to the final.
We were cheering a lot at the semi-finals, but I didn't even the way we've been playing. I didn't think we would get to the semi-finals, and then we got to the semi-finals, and it was like, oh, we're against the Netherlands, and then we were cheering a lot, and then it was like, it's our wedding day.
Yeah.
And you've decided, you know what, we're going to still have our wedding day and we're going to do it our way. And not only that, we're going to have our first dance.
Bold.
At 8 p.m. Kick off.
Bold
That's when
move.
we're having our first dance.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're so thrilled and excited for the day. We've got so many friends and family coming.
Yeah.
It's going to be the best day of my life, marrying this beautiful woman. So, we can celebrate on Monday when we bring it home.
This guy, huh?
I love
Are there going to be any nods? Because obviously you can't rearrange your wedding. So are there going to be any nods to the football during the wedding? I mean, how are you going to keep all those puppies in the basket? How are you going to keep the focus of everyone there?
So I think at when Watkins scored, the amount of messages I got saying, are you going to put a screen on? Are there going to be screens at your wedding? So we've decided not to go for screens, but we'll get the DJ to announce when England have scored. Maybe not when Spain have scored, but just when England are winning.
Oh, that's all right, isn't it? But, I mean, at the end of the day, everyone has phones nowadays.
I totally get it. Could you imagine? You've literally spent like the last, like probably half a year organising your wedding. At the last minute, someone said, "You got a big screen with the football on." You'd be like, "No."
I have seen it at a wedding before. I have seen a screen at a wedding before.
Yeah.
And all the men were watching the football and all the women were on the dance floor having a great time. We weren't bothered at all. Well, guys, listen, we wish you all the best on
luck.
Sunday. We're so excited about your wedding.
So much. Lovely chatting to you.
Lovely chatting to you. We're going to go across now to Jen and Rob, who have decided to actually totally embrace the Euros at their wedding. Good morning to both of you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Have you gone as far, Jen, as to say, you know what, I'm going to wear an England kit instead of a white dress?
I was very tempted to have one of those reveals like they do with Marvel, but I wasn't allowed.
That would have been so much fun.
You two are big football fans, aren't you? Big Newcastle fans. So you love your football already. So it's less of a stretch for you to properly get involved with the football, I guess.
So the closer that it looked like we were going to the final, the more that we were looking at like the cancellation terms and conditions of the wedding. We considered like getting married in the afternoon and like hopping on a flight over to Berlin, but it didn't work out. So.
Wow, that's commitment.
That is commitment. So tell us some of the things that you're going to embrace at your wedding. You're going to have a screen?
Absolutely,
absolutely.
We've got
big
two.
Screen, yeah. Well, you don't want all the guests just having a peek down at the phone during your first dance to look at the score. So, yeah, first dance has moved to half-time as well.
Very good.
Such a good idea.
And guys, you've also got, is the vicar getting involved? What's he or she doing?
Yeah, so we have the most amazing vicar, and I promised to give him a shout out. It's Reverend Daniel Ackley. He's actually recorded "It's Coming Home" on the organ, and it sounds incredible. So that's going to be good.
That's brilliant.
Are you having fireworks as well at the end of the night? I think you're having fireworks, aren't you?
Yes, so again, the fireworks company have very kindly said that they can time the fireworks for full-time whistle and do it to like We Are the Champions, Sweet Caroline if we win, and maybe delay them a bit if it doesn't come home, but it will, so.
And have you got face painting? I've heard you've got face painting lions coming. Well,
Yes,
not real lions.
We've got more than 3. One of my wonderful colleagues, his daughter is actually doing the face painting, so after the first dance we'll have like England flags all over.
Oh, I love the fact that you're embracing it. This is going to be so much fun.
They love their football, don't they?
They do. Well, listen, congratulations, good luck. Have you thought about if it doesn't go our way, the atmosphere of the wedding, is that going to change a little bit, do you think?
Well, my only prayer is that it doesn't go to penalties because I don't think we could take that. But no, it's coming home.
Yeah, it's going to set the tone for the marriage, really.
Yeah, it's coming home. It's coming home.
Is it kind of a nice distraction as well? Because obviously gearing up for a wedding is quite a stressful experience. You know, you've got a lot to plan and so forth. So is it kind of nice to have that bubbling away in the background?
I think a lot of people kind of think, oh no, like the Euros is on our wedding day. But for us, it's like, oh, damn, our wedding day is on the Euros. So.
Oh, I'm so excited for you. Just have the most wonderful day. Enjoy it. And hopefully we will bring it home.
Yeah, congratulations, Jen and Rob.
Yeah, congratulations. Thanks for joining us, Jen and Rob, and also Emily and Dan. Thank you so much for joining us. Have the best day ever.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh,
lovely. Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
Now, certainly no luck involved here. As a stuntman working as Daniel Radcliffe's double on the Harry Potter film franchise, David Holmes was living out his dream.
But that was until a tragic accident which left him with a catastrophic spinal injury and meant he would spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair.
Despite deteriorating health and debilitating daily pain, David has now been left tens of thousands of pounds out of pocket after falling victim of financial scammers.
David joins us to share his story now. Good morning,
Good
David.
morning, team.
Good
How are
morning. We're very good, thank you. Can you tell us about the initial phone call you received?
Yeah, so I got a phone call on the 3rd of July at 3 o'clock, and it was said, "Hi, this is the NatWest Fraud team. You're just about to receive an alert from us." At the exact same time, I get an alert from NatWest Fraud team.
Which is like a text message.
Yep, text message. We've just detected a fraudulent transaction on your account.
Right.
He said, now, as you're on the phone, I'm going to take you through the process to make sure this fraudulent transaction doesn't take place. I can see it was your birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, and I'm really sorry to bring this to you. And then coaxed me through actually helping him make the fraud out of my NatWest. He told me all of my information, home address, everything. You name it, he knew it. He knew that I had multiple accounts with NatWest, and he also knew that I had cryptocurrency linked to NatWest as well. So not only did he take me through helping him create the fraud from NatWest, but he also told me that because he's made me aware that NatWest, that I have cryptocurrency linked to my NatWest card, unless I transfer to the secure wallet NatWest is going to provide, then unfortunately we're not going to cover it on our insurance policy. Alarm bells start ringing then.
Of course, yeah. So you're panicking because you've got tens of thousands of pounds which you use to help with your rehabilitation, with your exercise, to maintain a lifestyle that is vaguely manageable.
Yeah, I mean, to escape the pain of winter, anybody with any injuries know it's painful in winter. Well, with a broken neck, it's excruciating.
So this money's hugely important to you, and so you're panicking.
Yeah.
And David, at what point did you start thinking, at any point did you think this doesn't sound
Not
real?
at all. I think he was
sophisticated.
so convincing and so personable in the transaction, and all the information that you knew about me. I just hook, line, and sinker. And I'm not like
you're not naive.
I'm not naive. I do a lot of things, and unfortunately, I was very vulnerable at the time. You know, when it comes to birthdays with my debilitating condition, I always ask myself, where am I going to be next year and the year after? And then, at the moment, I'm going through a project which made me have to go through some really difficult paperwork, and that was hard to sort of digest. And that was on the Monday, and it all just, I just got out of a physio session as well, so I was pretty knackered, and it all was just the perfect time. And the day after your birthday, what is most people the day after their birthday? They're pretty hungover,
yeah.
Right? You know, so I don't drink, but it was just so targeted, and I'm just here now to share my story because I've got to find a silver lining on this, right?
For sure. And I think that's the thing. Anytime we've had Alice on the show or we've talked to some of our viewers, it's so easy to fall victim to this because, like you were saying, the guy, first of all, called you up from NatWest. He said his name was Jason. He had all these different details. You received the text message. And then, to quote Alice, what they do is they put this time pressure on you as well, where they turn around and say, we've got they're going to have your facial recognition.
Yeah, he said your phone's been cloned. He said, and because your phone's been cloned, all they have to do is change the facial recognition and they have access to everything on your phone. And obviously, I've got very sensitive information on my phone, just contacts of my friends, everything. So, the panic is unbelievable.
So you hand over control. In fact, at one point, NatWest actually started trying to call you because they could see that there was fraudulent activity on the account.
Yeah, for real. And he said, you don't need to answer that phone because you're already on the phone with me at the full team.
So they knew that would be the actual NatWest. It was so well rehearsed, so sophisticated. When did you realise, David, that this wasn't NatWest?
When I had called my mum across because I can't use a pen, so I had to write down some information and I just needed a second person in the room that, I didn't want my care team involved or anything like that just because they got enough pressure on them. So Mum come across and then I was getting a second phone call from NatWest and Mum said, I think this is a bit dicky. And then, boom, the phone went down. And
but by then it was too late.
Too late. The nature of cryptocurrency is it's a separate currency. It's volatile. It's risky. But you believe when you're speaking to the banking systems, the big corporations, you believe they're there to protect us from stuff like this. And NatWest, the fraud team have been good in helping me with the money lost within NatWest. So at least I can pay for my cost of care and stuff like that.
Which was £10,000 from NatWest.
£10,000 from NatWest. But the rest of the money, the cryptocurrency, I've got to hope and pray that one, my very expensive insurance company might be able to help me with it. And two, that there's a company I'm working with that I reached out straight away to, and they said it was very good to reach out to them. And they said that possibly, and there's no guarantee, but we might be able to put a stop on the funds on the exchanges and like ask exchanges for damages. now.
I mean, crypto's a complicated world. The whole point of cryptocurrency is so it can't be traced. You know, it's out there.
Yeah.
You are in the process of writing a book about your life, what you've been through. The thing that is so astonishing about you, David, because we met first of all on the Potter Films years ago, and you were throwing me around the backstage and all the stunt teams, and you taught me how to play Quidditch. And then your documentary that I would urge anybody to see, The Boy Who Survived, is just...
Boy Who Lived.
Boy Who Lived, excuse me. That's absolutely remarkable. You are such a force when it comes to staying present, making the most of every single moment.
Yeah, I think my situation reminds me that, you know, to live in the now, you can't not when you're getting
when
worse.
we spoke last week, I've never heard you so broken.
I was pretty broken, yeah. I mean, I shared the phone calls. I can't listen back to them.
Because you recorded them, didn't you?
Yeah, I recorded them after the moment you started saying cryptocurrency. And I can't listen back to them. That's as emotionally triggering as trying to watch my accident of me breaking my neck. It's pretty dark, you know, the way someone can just deceive you like that and how personable they were. And just when look back hindsight, obviously, you're just kicking yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, listen, it's Disability Pride Month this month. It's nice to have a disabled person in your studio.
It is.
It's just a shame it's telling my horrendous story of how a trickster defrauded me for what they did. So, yeah.
But as a warning to people out there, you know, that's the crucial thing.
My silver lining, being here today with you guys, if I can make people aware just how easy it is, they're going to catch you at your most vulnerable times.
And put time pressure on.
Time pressure, and they're going to convince you in every which way. So I'm like calling out the big banking systems. We need to have better protections in place. This must be causing our economy billions and billions of loss.
Well, we have a right reply from NatWest. They say criminals are continually evolving the ways they target our customers. We're sorry for the distressing experience Mr. Holmes has had. We've been in touch to make sure we have all the right information in respect of his case, and we will continue to support him through this process.
I'm still waiting for the bank to give me a letter saying that they're not going to recover the losses in my crypto. So that maybe there might be an insurance policy in place, but I still have yet to receive that.
Well, will you will get that, David.
Like
will you come back and talk to us when the book? Because I know
it's on
pre-sales, and when is it released?
Released November the 14th. Okay. If you want to know how I became the first Quidditch player in the world, or some behind-the-scenes Harry Potter stories that never been told, or how I've navigated rebuilding my life after breaking my neck, and the silly mistakes that I've made, and the lessons that I've learned along the way, then. Get my book. It's out now.
Well, and we'll get you to come up once it's actually... So it's pre-order at the minute, once it's released.
And if people want to follow me on the usual socials, I'm the only one with the blue tick. There's lots of other fake accounts.
The David Holmes with the blue tick.
Yeah, 83.
It is well worth following, by the way, because there is an extraordinary approach to life, David, which I think could help a lot of people. Thank you for coming in.
David. Thanks for having
and sharing, having the courage to share this story, because it's going to help people. It's good to see you. Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
First, according to a new facial skincare report, almost half of us have experienced adult acne at least once.
And although it may be dismissed as a vanity problem, researchers have also found that people struggling with these breakouts not only suffer physically, but also mentally too.
Well, to shed more light, we're joined by skincare expert Dr. George Moncrief, along with acne sufferer Lexi Jenkinson. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you? First of all, let's start off by what is acne?
Gosh, I think everybody knows what acne is, but it's a miserable condition for some people because it's so disfiguring, it can be disfiguring, and it's on the face typically, the part of your body that everybody sees. And so if you're going for an interview or looking for a new relationship or whatever, it's the first thing that people notice. So it's devastating from that point of view.
But there's different types, isn't there? It can be broken down.
Yes, there are. It tends to occur on the oily parts of the body, so on the face, across the shoulders and occasionally down the back, as well as sometimes on the front of the chest.
Right.
And it can be anything from just open comedones, which are blackheads, where the grease has become a bit thicker and increased in quantity, and it just blocks the pores. So you get these little blackheads. But then when anything gets blocked, it becomes inflamed behind that, bacteria grow. You can get pimples, which are sort of red bumps, but then they rapidly can turn into pustules with a whitehead, sometimes called a closed comedone. And then they can progress from that into a larger nodule of inflammation, which is painful. And if it's really severe, cysts and things like that, and abscesses and scars, it can be really, really unpleasant.
Are we typically, George, we sort of correlate acne or bad spots to teenage years, to puberty, going through that sort of hormonal change, not necessarily in adult life. What is it that causes acne, and why would it affect people at different ages?
Well, the main driver are androgens, which are male hormones, things like testosterone, and women do make them, and their skin is more sensitive to the low levels of androgens that they make. And that's what drives that production of grease and sebum that's starting off the whole process and blocking the pore. And so androgen surges around puberty is what tends to start acne off, and it's most severe in teenagers, most common in teenagers, affecting up to 95% of men, up to the age of about 19. But it's not uncommon at all in adult life. Probably about 1 in 4 women in their 40s still have acne, 1 in 3 women in their 30s still have acne, and 1 in 2 women in their 20s have acne. So it's a condition that does go on a lot longer. It's not just, you can say, when you get out of your teens, it'll magically clear. And as in Lexi's case, we'll hear about it, it can start in adult life as well.
Hi, Lexi. Hello. I actually had a similar thing. I had bad skin when I was a teenager, then it cleared up, and then in my 20s, it was so strange, it came back, and it made me feel... I was working on TV shows at the time, and I used to get there before everybody else arrived in the morning because I didn't want anybody to see me without makeup on. And in the end, I ended up taking Roaccutane for it, and it helped it out. But it was so... How did yours first flare up?
So I was about 20 and I changed my contraception and it just erupted. So I never had it as a teenager.
You didn't?
No, so I had clear skin as a teenager, and then all of a sudden at 20, I just got really bad acne, and it was terrible, really, because in your 20s, that's when you want to go out, you want to wear lots of makeup. And,
but also, that's a really peculiar time to suddenly be affected by it. That must have been really distressing.
I think also because I didn't have it as a teenager, you're like, oh, well, what's wrong with me now then? Why all of a sudden at 20 years old have I got acne?
So did you ever find out what the catalyst was for it? Like, what caused it to flare up?
I think, personally, it was probably to do with the hormonal contraception that I was on at the time.
Right.
And then they changed it and it got better, and then I came off that and it got worse again. So it's kind of been a battle for like 7 years, really.
Because sometimes that can sometimes help, because before I took Roaccutane, they tried to put me on something, the birth control that would affect your skin and try and make it better, but it didn't work for me.
See, yeah, it did work for me, and then they took me off it because they said that I'd been on it for too long.
Right.
And then, and then my acne came back, so...
How does it make you feel?
Oh, it's absolutely horrible. It destroys your confidence completely. So, yeah, you don't want to go out, you don't want to see anyone, you want to cancel all your plans. Yeah.
And it's any time where you're not wearing makeup as well. So it's like things like summer holidays. It's like all those type of times. And does it flare up more in the summer too?
Do you know what? I think because I try and cover it up quite a lot.
Yeah.
So because you're caking your face in makeup, and then obviously you can't breathe, like your face can't breathe, it probably does flare up. I recently just went on holiday and it sort of settled down a bit, but I didn't wear as much makeup. So, but yeah, typically, I suppose.
You've started posting about your condition and what's been going on. What's been the response that you've had from people?
Unbelievable. I've only had the account for less than 2 months and it's just completely blown up. And I think a lot of people have said how much it's helped them feel less alone. And that's quite something. And even for myself, it's made me feel less alone. So yeah, it's been unbelievable.
George, let's talk a little bit, because there are options, and I know, I'm sure that Lexi has worked through a few. Kat's mentioned Roaccutane, which is quite an extreme option, but it does have an effect. She used it, I've had it. I had very awful... When I started university, I hadn't had too bad skin through my teenage years. At university, suddenly my skin went crazy.
Yeah.
And it was Roaccutane that helped me, but fortunately we were able to get some back then. God, we're talking decades ago now. Just explain a little bit about what that is.
Roaccutane is a vitamin A-like product. It's been around for 40 years. I used to prescribe it when I was working in hospital 40 years ago. And I prescribed this as a GP until I retired. The rules have changed dramatically now. In fact, that's very unusual as a GP to be prescribing it. I probably coordinated 700 courses. And I think it's a wonder drug. I really do, as your experience has shown. But it's got to be used carefully, it's got to be used properly, it's got some significant side effects and problems, and you've really got to monitor it very carefully. But 85% of patients who have a course of Accutane never have another spot.
Yes.
And that's in your case, it leaves you with a lovely complexion, no more doctor's appointments, no more antibiotics, no more spots. Your skin is cured. So it is a wonderful drug when it's used properly and carefully, and it works. So it's really remarkable.
It's hard to get hold of, though, isn't it, Lexi? That's one of the issues.
Yeah, super hard. I mean, I've been waiting for my phone call for about 2 months. I haven't even had the phone call with the dermatologist yet.
Wow.
A lot of the girls on my TikTok are saying they've been waiting over 2 years, some of them. So, yeah, it's definitely a long waiting list.
The rules have got a lot more stringent very recently. Some rules have been from the MHRA, who the body who license products, have made the rules much tighter. And the dermatologists in the country are very upset by that, and it is making it more difficult for them to prescribe. But they are absolutely inundated with referrals, and it's a long, long time for people to be seen. I think you've been so brave to have done what you've done.
Very much so.
And I think you're doing a tremendous amount for the community. You really are.
Thank you.
But clearly what you need, I think, is Accutane. But there's a lot more we could discuss. I mean, there's contraception that makes acne worse, and there's contraception that treats acne. And so there are treatments that really, really work very well, but there's so much more to discuss, from diet to topical treatments that can be used, rebalancing the microbiome with products that contain phylobioma, for example. There's so much that can be done for acne, even before you get to see a dermatologist.
And I'm sure you've tried loads of those different things, Lexi, over the years.
I've tried a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we would love to have you do is come back again and talk to us a little bit more, because as you said, Dr. George, there's so many more different avenues that you could try too.
There's so much to untangle here as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
And Lexi, thank you so much for coming on the
you're
show
welcome.
and for being so brave, because we do know what it's like. So thank you very much indeed. Thank
Oh,
you.
hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning. Right, we've got an interesting story for you here that will, if you're a parent, make you gasp and then breathe a big sigh of relief. Last week, two brothers, 22-year-old Matthew and 18-year-old Andrew Forster, went missing whilst on holiday in Bali.
The pair had set off to climb a 10,000-foot volcano in the jungle, but got lost. And with no phone battery to call for help, they were left stranded.
However, thanks to skills they learned from watching Adventurer Bear Grylls over the years as young lads watching the telly, the pair were able to survive and were rescued 40 hours later. It's an extraordinary story. Matthew and Andrew join us here now alongside their mum, Catherine. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Catherine, we'll come to you in just a bit. As a parent with a son who's travelling around at the moment, this was the sort of story that strikes fear into your heart, because I know that my Sam climbed up a couple of the volcanoes and a couple of the hills in Bali as well. Matthew, let's start. Just explain a little bit why the two of you were over there in the first place.
So we went over, we're doing nine weeks travelling Southeast Asia from Vietnam and Thailand, and we wanted to end our trip in Bali because our dad was Australian and that's where he grew up. We wanted to go see some of the places where he would have spent his summer holidays.
Yeah.
And you've just finished university, haven't you?
Yes.
And you've just finished your A-levels?
Yeah.
So it was a great excuse for the two of you to go away together and do a little bit of travelling and exploring before the next stage of your lives.
Exactly, yeah.
And you had a very romantic notion of climbing to the top of the volcano, seeing the sunrise.
Yeah, watching.
Did you do any other planning for this trip?
No, not. The planning was where it all went. Nowhere near enough planning. Didn't research into getting a guide. Didn't know that the path we'd chosen was actually closed to the public for years. So
for years?
Yeah, it had been closed for years.
Because the one thing, because obviously I immediately phoned my son and said, "Did you climb this thing?" And he said, "We didn't climb the volcano, you did." And what he was saying was there's quite a lot of well-trodden routes up this volcano, Andrew. Quite a lot of tourists. It wasn't unusual that you were trying to climb the volcano, was it?
No, it wasn't. But we'd gone to the wrong side. I think everyone's on the west side, all these tour groups that go up. And we're at the foot on the south side, and we look and we see these lights on the volcano. And we think, oh, there's some tour groups. We're going to go on our route and we're going to maybe meet them at the top. But no, we didn't get so lucky.
It was an app. You were following an app, weren't you?
Yeah. So the app was out of date as well?
Yeah, well, the app was showing, there were comments on it saying, oh, you can go with a guide, but we didn't know this and we didn't. see.
So, Matthew, at what point, so you think you're following the app, you think you're doing the right thing, you think you can see other tourists.
Yeah.
At what point did you start to go, actually, we're in a bit of trouble here? I know that the battery went dead on your phone.
Yeah. I'd probably say about 2 hours into the hike. So about 4:30 in the morning, I remember we turned and we were like, should we turn back now? And because it had also started to rain on the way up, and we decided to push on, keep going up, because the jungle was getting thinner.
Yes.
And because we'd just come through the most horrendous part. And because we'd seen those tour lights going up before, we were like, oh, well, we'll surely meet them at the top. And we naively assumed that the top of the volcano would be flat and we'd be able to walk around and meet the others. But when we got to the top, it was completely sheer terrain, covered in cloud, couldn't see more than 20 meters ahead of us. And then that's when our phones decided to die. So it was at the worst point, really.
So at that point, what went through your mind, and what was the conversation that happened between the two of you?
There was a very long conversation then on what do we do now. I was adamant that the best course of action would be to try and scale the terrain around the top and wait for the next morning where another tour would come up for sunrise.
Yeah.
Andrew was...
I wanted to go down and try plough through the jungle.
The way you'd just come?
Yeah, the way we'd come.
Yeah.
And so in the end, you decided you were going to follow that. That was the idea that you
Yeah, we kind of went for a blend of...
Yeah, about maybe 2 hours after we reached the top, the rain, we started chucking it down, and it revealed a river along the rocks, so we decided to, follow it downstream.
And that's a tip that you got from Bear Grylls, right?
Yeah.
Where would you learn? Where would you heard that? Did you remember?
Just growing up, watching Bear Grylls with our dads, and he was a scout leader, so we'd done like camps and stuff before. It was one of the things where just always follow a river downstream if you're lost, because that's where like civilization will be, people will be there. And as we did go down, the further down, we did end up hearing chainsaws in the distance. They couldn't hear our like shouts for help, but just hearing humans, it gave us hope.
Yeah.
So.
And then, unbeknownst to you, you've got a friend, Sarah.
Yeah.
Was she travelling in Vietnam? Is that right?
Yeah, we met her in Vietnam.
Right. So then she lost contact with you. So then, did she call you, Catherine?
Yes. So they had been in touch with her when they'd been going up, and luckily they'd sent screenshots of this app with this route that they were on. And she lost contact with them at like 2 a.m. UK time. She was in Sweden. She couldn't get hold of them the whole of the next day. This was Wednesday.
Right.
I knew nothing about this. That night, she reported them missing to the embassy, and I was oblivious. And 6 o'clock the following morning, by which time nothing had been heard from them for like 30 hours, I tried to call them and I couldn't. And then I looked on Find My Phone and I saw they would last 2 days ago up a mountain. But even then, I wasn't that worried. And then a friend of theirs managed to get hold of me, and I spoke to her, and she told me, and I said, well, tell me they were with a guide. And she was like, they weren't with a guide. And I told them to turn around, and she said, but I've reported them missing. And then I was straight on the phone to the Foreign Office. And then I sort of put a collective voice note on a WhatsApp group of my local friends, and our local friends just dropped everything, came to my house. Their kids started putting out messages, which went to hostels in Bali, and like, an army, basically, to
start trying to track you down.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the two of you had to make a shelter because it was nighttime now.
Yeah, so the night we just followed the river down until the sun had set, and then it became too dangerous to proceed because it was really slippery. And I actually had a bad fall, which fortunately didn't break anything. But we ended up just having to sleep on the side of the river, just padded down some leaves. Freezing cold, like we spent the night like cuddled together because it was so cold. And the next day,
how scary was it?
It was scary. When we fell, that was really scary. But I think the biggest fear was knowing what everyone at home was going through, because we were alive. We knew we were alive and not injured, but obviously everyone at home was fearing the worst.
So how were you essentially found in the end?
We'd just been coming down the mountain, we'd been shouting, help, help, help us. And say around 6 o'clock, so about half an hour before the sunset, we hear noises from the woods, and it's the rescue team, and yeah.
What was that moment like?
I didn't want to call it too early.
Yeah.
But Matthew was.
I was like, oh, we're gonna make it home for Mum's birthday, and like Andrew was like, don't say that yet. We're not off just yet. But it was really special when they shouted at us. They're like, you two boys are very, very, and they were like looking for us. I was like, stupid. They're like extremely stupid.
Yes. They'd got stuck at the river had gone, and they were stuck at the top of a big drop.
It was like a waterfall.
So they'd made like a base, and they'd put SOS, but the next morning, because it was just getting dark, they'd have had to try to get through the jungle, but the guys that got to them were literally hacking through the jungle.
So they had machetes to get through?
Well, they were saying you were very, very stupid, but you were also very smart because you remembered everything that Bear Grylls said.
Yeah.
We actually have a message from Bear Grylls for you guys now. Take a look at this.
I'm so happy, so proud that you made it out in one piece. Good for you. What an experience you've been through. But key lessons for people to learn, that if you ever find yourself just going out for a hike and get lost, is always to remember, first of all, tell somebody where you're going and when you're due back. And secondly, always take a hard copy of a map. Even if it's just take a screenshot and then print it out quickly, just so you've got something that's not electronic. But above all, I think the reason you guys made it out is you have each other. And that is so valuable. I've learnt in terms of survival, 1 + 1 in survival is different to normal maths. It doesn't equal 2, it equals about 5 or 6. I'm so proud of you guys, well done.
There you go.
Take a map.
Big relief.
Yeah,
Take a map.
Have they started talking about going away again yet, Catherine?
We're actually going to Australia at the end of July because my husband died a couple of years ago. We're going to put his ashes in the ocean.
You won't be letting them out, you say?
Yeah, you're going together. It's a team. It's a team.
Boys, we're very, very relieved
We are.
that you're here to tell the tale and share those sort of warning signs.
Yeah,
Do
he's
some
smashing,
research.
lads. Don't do that to your mum again.
Take a guide, hard copy of maps as well. Oh, it's great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning. As the summer holidays approach, we all want to make sure we're looking our best on the beach.
And that's how ex-fitness influencer Alice Leaving garnered over 500,000 followers on Instagram.
But almost 10 years later, Alice is now warning people that her so-called healthy lifestyle was actually making her ill.
And she's releasing her new book, Give Me Strength, and Alice joins us now in the studio. Good morning to you, Alice. Lovely to meet you.
Hello.
So I guess if we go back, you were one of the first fitfluencers, as they were calling influencers who were really into fitness online.
That's right. And, you know, I started 10 years ago, as you said, so it was a long time ago, and the word influencer didn't really even exist at the time. So I started off this online food diary, just kind of wanted to share what I was eating and how I was approaching this, what I thought was a lifestyle change, and just so happened to kind of garner this audience of people that connected with what I was doing. But I guess as it continued, and as you said, you know, I sort of started to realise that actually what I thought was this healthy lifestyle pursuit actually wasn't so healthy in itself.
And it was a huge number of people. When you talk about this audience that you had, it was a huge number of people. And you were kind of projecting, you were putting out recipes and lifestyle choices, but you were actually exhausted too. You were training so much.
I think that's the thing. I think, you know, when it comes to pursuing a healthy lifestyle, we all start out with best intentions. You want to eat well, you want to move your body, and there's nothing wrong with those things. But I think that as many people, and I've spoken to so many women across the years who kind of go down the same path where you start to get a little bit connected to doing more and then doing more. And what we know about health and fitness is more doesn't always equal better. You can do too much exercise. You can eat too little to fuel your body. And so understanding that there is that tipping point, you know, yes, those things matter, but actually going too far with them can actually take you in the opposite direction.
And so your account, Clean Eating Alice, was hugely popular, as we said, but how bad did it get? Because I've looked back at some of your bits and pieces that you were posting, and there are Instagrammers and there's fitfluencers, as they're called now, that look very similar. You can see you on the left there. You're looking strong, you're looking athletic, but you're a fraction of the size of the person on the right, who you're saying is a much healthier, much happier person.
I think that's right. And, you know, we mustn't take how someone looks as a kind of connection to how they actually are operating health-wise. So in the photo on the left, I actually didn't have a menstrual cycle. And that was something that I lost as a result of my body being under too much stress and struggling with the amount of exercise that I was doing, and also just not eating enough to fuel my body. And I think that we must realise that, you know, finding a place that's in the middle. Yes, exercise matters. I'm sat here as a personal trainer, and I'm obviously going to tell you that moving your body is important, and that's a crucial part of the book. But also doing it in a healthy and a sustainable way for the long term. You know, I want people that come to me to train for the rest of their life, not just to look good on the beach this summer. And so it's about trying to give people reasons to connect to exercise in a healthy and positive way that doesn't mean that they fall into the mistakes that I did when I was in that place.
I think it's also to get a perspective on Instagram and posts as well, and social media in general. When you see just one snapshot of a picture, you have no idea of all of the infrastructure that's going on around it. I mean, you were ill, and you were kind of almost feeding off these likes from people.
I think that's right. And I think, look, I look at that time and I realise that it was such a wider context of lots of people doing the same thing. And a lot of these behaviours, sadly, being incredibly normalised, also validated. I'm sure anyone knows and can attest to the fact that if you lose a bit of weight, the first thing that people say to you is, oh, you look amazing, you look great. And that can be really nice. And suddenly when you start hearing that a lot, it kind of feeds into that nice, happy feeling of validation. And so you continue those behaviours. But I guess the reality is that you're right. Instagram is never the full picture. We all need to take it with a pinch of salt. And, you know, I started my page when I was 22. I was really young. I made mistakes, and haven't we all? And I've gone on a journey over the last however many years to learn to do better. And I've taken my audience on that journey with me. And I'm grateful for the fact that there are so many people who've actually connected with what I've done and who feel very similarly to how I am. I said in the book, you know, I don't see myself as unique. In fact, I speak to so many women who have the exact same story as me and who are trying to find peace with their bodies, not to feel as though every day they look in the mirror and go, I hate myself, or punishing their body through exercise, or, you know, constantly feeling that Monday is a day that they've got to start back on that diet bandwagon. All of these things are things that I think women connect to. And I've just tried to use my experience and my expertise as a trainer, now 10 years in the industry, into the book and really helping women to do things differently.
If you create that profile, you create that following, though, and you are living that lifestyle, you're creating an income as well. So you were earning money off what you were now doing. Was there concern when you shifted and you realised this is making me ill? I could lose my profile. I could lose the fact that I can pay my mortgage and pay my bills because my business is going to have to change.
I think it's a great question, and there has to be accountability with what has come before. I sit here as someone who's tried to very much own the fact that I got it wrong. And there is no part of me that doesn't feel that that is a really important thing to say. But I also think that I look at that time and as it being part of a really difficult time for lots of people who are doing very similar things. And I realise that life is about learning to do better. And I've always tried to be now authentic, transparent, and honest. And if you're that to people and you give them honesty and you take them on that journey with you, you'll find that people can really then connect to what you're saying and find some similarity between what I went through and what they are going through too. So I think that's been really important, and that's been at the heart of my journey. And the book is I guess, lifting the lid on a lot of that stuff and trying to say, look, I could have done better, and here's how. And actually, because of what I've gone through, here's how I think that things can change for the better.
Well, look, Alice's book, Give Me Strength, How She Turned Her Back on Restriction, Nurtured the Body That She Loves and How You Can Do It Too, is available right now.
Thanks, Alice. It's a really brave move, actually, and I've got a niece, and I think that's a really good thing to tell girls and other women too. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Our next guest used to look like this. And since getting her first tattoo at 15, Becky Holt now looks like this.
Amazing.
Very glamorous.
After going under the needle hundreds of times, Becky now believes she is the most tattooed woman, and mum, in fact, in Britain. More than 95% of her skin is now covered in ink, including most of her intimate areas too.
And Becky joins us now to tell us more. Good morning,
Hi, guys.
Becky.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming on, and in a bikini, no less. But it's like, tell us about where this fascination started. When did you get your first tattoo?
So I was always into body modification from a young age. I just sort of thought it was like really cool, and I liked how different it was, and I liked people that like stood out and stuff. And so I had my first tattoo when I was 15 years old.
Okay.
It was not a wise decision. I had my boyfriend's name tattooed directly across my crotch. Obviously, that doesn't exist anymore. But that's when the obsession like really started.
Because you split up with that boyfriend, so then you
I broke up with him and I carried on getting tattooed. But I used to look at the women on Bazaar magazine. They were always dressed like heavily in latex, and they were like these models. They were pin-ups. They looked gorgeous, and I just thought that's what I, want to be. I want to be one of these tattoo models. And I did actually get the cover in 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny because we showed that picture of what you used to look like, and you smiled. I don't know if you can see that again back. What do you think when you look back?
That it's not me.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look anything like me. I've had loads of surgery and I've had obviously lots of tattoo work done. So when I look at that picture, it's not me.
What was Becky back then like? And how did she compare to the Becky that we're meeting?
Becky back then was a nightmare. No, she was wild.
Right.
I'm not wild anymore. A little bit.
So interestingly, as you've tattooed your body and you've had the surgery that you're talking about, that sort of calmed you down a little bit?
I think having a child is what calmed me down.
Oh,
yes.
Children will do that.
Yeah, they
Babies will
tend to do that.
But you say that you love tattoos. Aesthetically, you love the look of them. And I have to say,
thank you.
It's really pretty.
It's like a frame.
It is.
Yeah, really
it's
arresting.
really pretty around your face. But you hate having them done.
Oh, it's horrible having them done. They're so painful. And I'm totally, like, past it now. Like, I'm bored of it. I've sat for hundreds of hours. And also, I'm updating them. I'm tattooing over the tattoos I've already got. So that's scar tissue. So when you're tattooing over scar tissue, it's so much more painful.
Oh, is
so,
it?
yeah, I tend to numb them now. I've earned my stripes. I just numb them to try and get it over. You still feel it. You still feel a bit of pain with it. But, yeah, it's long sessions, long days, lots of time, lots of effort. And then the process after. It's painful afterwards.
Recovery.
Yeah, and then it's itchy for, like, 3 weeks afterwards as well. Like, I've got one brand new one at my thigh at the moment that's really itchy. But, yeah, it's worth it. It's worth the pain. It's worth the process.
Can we get you to stand up? Because
Yeah,
you're
of course
like
you can.
a sort of work of art, all of you, and you can get sort of a sense...
Would you like me to do a little spin?
Yeah, please do.
Do you mind?
Yeah.
No, of course not.
Sorry,
Oh.
Becky.
It's extraordinary.
Wow.
And as Kat was saying, I mean, we can see the tattoos we can see, but there's some parts of your body, the more intimate parts of your body, that you've had tattooed as well.
Yeah. Yes.
What made you want to do that?
Oh, God, it just stuck out. You could see
Because
it.
it was the bit that wasn't.
Yeah, so where my... Can I say vagina?
Yes, of course you can.
Where my vagina is,
Yes.
basically, or my lady area.
Yes.
It was tattooed right down to the lip.
Right.
And then you could just see the lip.
Right.
And it really stuck out, so I was like, I'm going to have to tattoo it. So it took 3 sessions.
And this was you looking at, because, I mean, not everyone's going to get to see that
No,
part
of course,
you,
it's
so-
this is my suit. I don't really do it for anybody else.
Right.
It's me, and it's
Yes.
my tattoos for me. And so when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and obviously I used to model as well, and it just stuck out for me. I saw it and I said, I need to tattoo that. So, yeah, I ended up having it tattooed.
So can I ask you, what was the process like? Because I was looking on your Instagram, and obviously you've had so many done.
Yeah.
And when you're looking and you're getting it done at that time, which you don't see
No,
anything,
you can't see
like
it. You
it's
can't
nothing.
show that on Insta.
But you look in so much pain.
Yeah, no, it's horrific. It is awful. It took 3 sessions. The first one was an hour and a half, which is just the line work. And then a couple of weeks later, I went back and had the colour done on one side. And then a few weeks later, I went and had the colour on the other side. It was horrific. Like, it's just ripping, burning, not nice at all. Horrible.
And you said before when we were asking you about it and the whole process, you were saying it burns and then it itches and it lasts for days. Like, how do you pee and things?
It was okay. It was just swollen, and it was just, you just have to be careful. A little bit stingy, but it actually healed really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess the skin there's a little bit different.
Yes.
Right. So it did heal a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Becky, was it worth it?
Yeah, totally. It looks amazing.
Does it?
Do you want to see? I'm joking. I'm joking.
The late night version of this morning is available
Back to the word
later.
again. We're back to the word again. Looking at you, as you say, the hours and hours you spent under the tattooist needle is extraordinary. What about the cost? Because tattoos aren't cheap, particularly some of the really extraordinary art you've got.
Yeah, so they're worth about 30k.
So I think about 30,000 value.
30
and is that
grand.
what you've had to spend on them?
I've been sponsored. I've been very lucky. So a lot of tattoo artists have wanted to work with me because of my following and for like my name in the tattoo industry. I go to conventions and stuff, and people know who I am as I'm the most tattooed woman and stuff like that. So yeah, it's great for them to be tattooed. Sorry, for them to tattoo me.
Right. Okay, so they get some PR from it as well.
Is there anything you wouldn't get tattooed? And is there anything you want to do more?
So at the moment, I'm just updating everything that I've got, all the existing work. The things that I wouldn't do is basically go any more on my face. I'm happy with how I look with my face. I don't want to do my eyeballs or anything like that.
Sounds awful, because you have to go blind, right?
Yeah, I know a girl in Australia who's had it done, and she went blind for 3 weeks, and I just think about that and I think, no.
As a result of the tattooing?
Yeah, for 3 weeks she was blind. She's had it done again. Since then, she's gone back and had it redone. She originally had them blue, now she's got them black. And I do think it looks cool, like visually, when I look at girls that have got them tattooed, I think, oh, that's really, really cool. I just won't do it to myself. Sure. Yeah, not up for it.
And you've got a daughter, a little girl. I know she's little, but what does she make of it? And what is it sort of, if she was to ever turn around and say, Mum, I think I fancy getting a tattoo, is that something you'd encourage?
I mean, she loves them. She's really interested. When my friends come round that have got tattoos, she's like, oh, you've got tattoos. We put little transfers on her as well.
Right.
So she's interested. And yeah, if she wants to get tattooed when she's older, I'll tell her she can, but she has to go to somebody that I choose.
Yes.
Really good. I don't want her to make the mistakes that I did as a young...
No boyfriends' names.
No boyfriends' names at all. No symbols of languages that you don't actually know what they are.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I've got a mate from school who's got one of those. Yeah,
I've had them as
he
well.
thought it was something else and it wasn't what he thought.
We've all been there.
And what's been the most painful for you?
Oh, the palm.
Really?
My palm was honestly, single-handedly, the most painful experience of my life. It was this bit here. It was just so unbearable. I cried my eyes out. I had to stop and I was like, I can't believe I'm actually shedding tears of real pain. But then I went back and had more done. So, it didn't hurt that much.
And are there any that you really, despise? Because we were chatting about it earlier this morning and we were saying, would you ever... Because we've both not got any. And mine was because I could never figure out what I would want to have forever, and I'd want to change my mind, and it's a woman's prerogative to do that. And have you got any that?
I mean, I don't particularly like my hands, but then I don't like my hands before they were tattooed. Do you know if you've got a part of your body that you just don't like? Mine's my hands. I don't like my hands. So I had this sort of floral decoration, and then across it says, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." Now, I'm not religious in the slightest, and I think I just made a decision when I was quite young to have them done. And when I look at other tattoos on people's hands now, I'm like, oh, I wish I had that. That would look much better. But then it's the process of lasering it off. It takes too long. It's very, very painful. So I'm just sort of, I'll finish everything else, and then maybe I'll sort them out.
What do you say to people who say, "Oh gosh, look, you look amazing, Becky," but as you get a bit older? What's it going to look like as you get a bit older and your skin's not quite as taut and as firm? And
I feel like I'll look really interesting when I'm older and I'm in a home. Yeah. I think that the people that work at the home would far rather speak to me than the people that don't have tattoos, because I'll have an interesting story to tell. Yeah. But I'm not bothered. I'm living for the moment right now. I don't really care what I look like when I'm 60. No. Maybe I'll regret it. Who knows?
Amazing.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys. It's so good to meet you both.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely fascinating. Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Eric Sprade has changed his appearance over the years so much that he's now called the Lizard Man.
To find out what it cost and what scales. Thank you. He'll go to the speak to him now. Eric!
Oh my goodness, Eric. How are you? Good morning.
How's it going, Eric?
I'm good. Good morning to you, too.
Oh, my God. I'll be honest with you. It has actually taken my breath away just even looking at you, babes. You look incredible. So how long has this...
I love stunned silence. I love stunned silence.
It literally is. Do you get that a lot everywhere you go, then?
I do get it quite a bit. I very often cause people to pause, do double takes. I'm not proud of it, but I have caused a couple of traffic accidents over the years.
Oh, dear. Oh, my goodness. I hope they're all right.
Yeah. Fortunately, no one seriously hurt that I'm aware of.
Oh, that's good news. OK, well, listen, I always think this has to stem from a situation, something that's happened to you. What was it that made you decide, I want to be the lizard man?
Yeah.
There must have been something. Did you have a dream? Did you wake up looking at a lizard? Did a lizard come into your bed? There's got to be a moment as to why this happened.
I know everybody wants the movie moment. Everybody wants the movie moment, and you know, I just like to say I was told I could be whatever I wanted to be when I grew up, and I took that very seriously.
So you
just
took
nobody
that
expected
literally.
me to choose to be Lizard Man. Yeah, you know, it's hard to break it down to a movie moment, but I had a lot of different ideas that came together, and the way that they came together ended up in this. It really started off from an interest in performance and conceptual art that I started exploring when I got to college.
And did you like lizards? Were you a reptile fan as a kid?
I've always enjoyed a reptilian aesthetic. Godzilla, big fan of Godzilla. And I became a fan of the way that reptiles cross all cultures and throughout history. No matter where you go, there's either a tale of a lizard man or a reptilian. You've got the world serpent. You've got the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Reptiles occupy a very special place in human consciousness. And as an artist, it was something that I felt that I could, you know, honestly exploit to my own advantage.
Sure.
But as an artist, you could do that in a day. You could dress up as a lizard. You decided to do this permanently. This is no joke. I mean, you've had your tongue lasered to separate your tongue. How much did that cost you to do that?
Well, fortunately, the doctor who did it, I actually designed the procedure and brought it to him. What? And he was willing to do it on me as the guinea pig. This was back in 1997. And at the time, he only charged me the costs of, you know, his use of his surgical theater, which was about $600 at the time.
And so how much pain was you in? How long did it take you to recover from that?
Right. So my tongue being split wasn't actually all that painful because they did give me a shot of lidocaine. But what I found interesting was I could taste and smell my own burning tongue as the laser went through it.
Oh, my goodness.
The swelling was so severe that it took about a week for the swelling to go down to the point where I could speak or eat normally.
Was it worth it, though? Was it worth it?
Oh, absolutely. Worth it. This is my legacy now, frankly. In the body modification community, I've sort of established this procedure and helped move it forward. You know, basically, people who have split tongues now very often cite me as a reference point. They maybe saw me, you know, 20-some years ago or more, and it inspired them.
Eric, did you have to learn how to speak again after getting your tongue lasered? Like, did it alter how you spoke and how long it took to kind of be able to kind of enunciate?
There was a little bit of a learning curve at the beginning, but surprisingly, it was a very natural thing for me to, if I needed my tongue to function as just one tongue again, all I have to do is kind of hold it together and use it like I used to. That happened pretty naturally. But when I had my teeth filed down to points, I had trouble hitting the backs of my teeth to do like t-t-t-t-t and sounds.
Wow.
So there was a slight lisp there that I had to learn to practice to touch my tongue to the roof of my mouth. It's a little trick that a friend of mine who's a speech pathologist taught me.
Right.
And I know you're married to your lovely wife. What does she think about that tongue?
I often say that my wife has plenty of complaints, but my tongue is not one of them.
I didn't hear the answer because you were looking at me. What did you say? She like, okay, do you know what? You don't need to say anymore. You really don't need to say anymore.
I'm really glad you asked that again now.
Tell me about the implants on your forehead as well. Right. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, I've got 5 pieces of Teflon implanted over each eye to create horned ridges. The procedure took about 6 hours. It was done without anesthetic. And as a result, it's the only time in my life that I've vomited and hallucinated as a result of pain.
Really? Oh, my God, you poor thing. But, you know, this is what you wanted. I mean, there's been some...
You gotta suffer for your art.
I mean, it's given you a career, hasn't it, Eric? It's changed your life, really, this has, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This is my dream. You know, when I first sort of had this idea, or, you know, the ideas that started to form this, and they started to come together, I didn't think this was going to be an opportunity. This was more of a pipe dream. But things came together in about the mid-90s. I ended up joining the Jim Rose Circus for a couple of years, then going solo. I've hosted music tours for bands like Slipknot, Slayer, Disturbed. I've traveled to fringe festivals around the world. It really has, like you said, changed my life. It's given me the life that I lead, and I'm very thankful for it.
And Eric, you're amongst friends here. You know, we're very live and let live, aren't we? But sort of honestly, are there any downsides to it at all?
I think the downside is I know that, sometimes I'm going to have a bad day. If I feel like I can't meet the negativity that I might encounter in the world with positivity, sometimes it'll make me want to stay home. So there are days where, you don't want to go out. But I often feel, too, that I'm in a sort of position where everybody remembers when they meet me, but it's hard for me to remember everybody I meet, right?
Sure.
So it's on me to always have a good interaction with people. I feel like there's a little bit of pressure there, which isn't really a downside. I actually like that because it forces me to try and be a good person. If I'm having a bad day, that's in the back of my mind, like, hey, don't be a jerk just because you're having a bad day, because these people will remember you forever as that green jerk.
Very good way of looking at life.
So it's a challenge to myself to be better.
Good for you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for sharing your story.
Nice
It's so interesting. Lots of love, Eric.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
My next guest was just 3 years old when he was struck down by sepsis back in January 2020. And after a 3-month battle in hospital, he was left with irreversible damage, resulting in both of his legs and 9 of his fingers being amputated.
However, 4 years later, brave William Reckless has gone from strength to strength, and he's just completed an incredible 4-mile challenge, raising nearly £8,000 for Nottingham Hospital charities.
To hear more about his incredible story, we're joined now by his mum, Gemma, dad, Mike, and sister, Georgia. And with a big round of applause, ladies and gents, please welcome to the studio, William! What's this for parking? Yeah, he does it better than I do.
That is
better
amazing.
than me.
William, that is so cool. This is your hand bike, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has it got a name? Have you named it anything?
No.
I feel like we need to find a name for the hand bike, because I know you're a big fan of the Transformers. The reason we've got you to come in on your hand bike is because you've just finished this incredible challenge. Will you tell us what the challenge involved, what you had to do?
I had to do a 2-mile walk and a 2-mile cycle.
God, 2 miles of both. Which was harder, the walk or the cycle?
The walking was harder.
What was hard about it? Did it just go on and on and on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to do some serious training for it? What did you do? Did you have like a training plan that you did with your dad or your mum?
At weekends, we would go on walks and cycles.
Did you? And you started small and then got bigger and bigger and bigger for the challenge. And Georgia, you did it too. You helped out as well. You're like William's biggest cheerleader. So did you do the whole race?
Yeah.
Did you?
What was the hardest bit for you, Georgia?
Mostly the walking.
It's the walking. It's a long way with little legs, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But you crossed the finish line together. That's
Here's
not...
the lovely bit of footage of the guys doing this incredible, incredible challenge. Gemma, you must be so enormously proud of him.
Absolutely, yeah. So proud of them both, really.
If we can, let's go back, because, of course, sitting here with William, who's so full of life and so full of energy and fitness and health, is a really special thing. But I'd imagine 4 years ago it didn't feel like that. Tell us a little bit about when you first found out he was ill.
So he'd been generally unwell over the weekend, and we just thought he'd picked a bug up from nursery. Nothing specific, you know, he'd been sick, he was a little bit off his food, lethargic, and over the weekend he got gradually more poorly, and took him to the GP, and they thought he'd got a virus. And it was later that night that actually Mike saw a thing on the internet about scarlet fever doing the rounds, and we had the conversation of, should we leave him in bed? He's finally gone to sleep. He might just need some sleep. And I said, you know what, if he needs some antibiotics and we get him seen 12 hours quicker, that's 12 hours sooner he's going to get better. So we took him into our local hospital, and very quickly from there they picked up how poorly he was. And it, like, the room starts filling up, and sort of say, do I need to get my husband here? And they were like, yeah, like he's very, very poorly little boy, and he had to be transferred to a bigger hospital in Nottingham that had paediatric intensive care. So.
And at that point, what's going through your mind at that point? Are people telling you what they think it could be, or are you just out of your mind with worry at that stage?
They'd been pressing a rash, constantly pressing a rash, and the doctor said to me, do you understand what's happening? And I said, he's got meningitis, hasn't he? And they said, no, he's got sepsis. And I said, what's that?
Yeah.
I had no idea what that was at that point. And I just remember thinking, somebody wake me up. This is not happening. I was at home a couple of hours ago. This is not happening.
And William's condition deteriorated really rapidly, didn't it, when you went to the hospital?
It did. I think they realised how much he was struggling, and obviously children can mask it very well, and they said we're going to have to put him into a coma to rest his organs and to give his body a chance. And then he was blue lighted to an intensive care unit in Nottingham.
Yeah.
And we couldn't travel with him. So as we got there, they came to get us and they said he's gone into cardiac arrest and we don't think we're going to be able to save him, so you need to come and be with him. And yeah, it's like your whole world just falls apart.
And it must feel all the more surreal now because we're so many years later and we can see the big smile on his face and what he's just managed to achieve. I wonder, Mike, what it felt like for the two of you at that point to think, as Gemma was just saying, he had a fever, you'd finally got him to sleep, and then all of a sudden he's gone into cardiac arrest.
Yeah, we just couldn't believe it, really. I think we were just in denial for the first maybe 12 hours until his heart stopped, and then it was, this is serious. But yeah, just every parent's worst nightmare, really.
So he had to get through the operation, he had to make it through that. You'd been told to prepare for the worst. When did you realise that he was going to survive, he was going to be OK?
He'd been in a coma for about 8 days, and then they were able to extubate him. And at that point, one of the doctors who had been very frank about the chances of him surviving this are very slim, came talking to me, and I said, oh, if he survives, and he says, no, not if, he will survive now. And I just burst into tears. It was like, he's going to survive, he's going to make it. And I remember running back into the room where all our friends and family were and saying, he's going to make it, he's going to make it. So it was 8 long days.
I bet it was. And what have been the challenges for you since then?
I think as parents, you worry about everything, especially when we first came home. You can't envisage what life's going to be like. And people show you Paralympians, but, you know, that's not real for everybody.
Because the reality, he survived, but you knew there was some amputation was going to have to happen in order for him to keep going.
It was a good 2 months before they could actually do the surgery to amputate. They wanted to let what was going to recover. So it wasn't until the March that he had his surgery. So yeah, it's just trying to picture how he's going to cope from there. But the whole way through, William's just smiled and got on with it. He's never questioned why me. He's never complained. So we've had to sort of be led by William.
Yeah. William, do you remember much about? You were very young. Do you remember much about when you were ill?
No.
No. Do you remember being in the hospital at all? Didn't you watch The Lion King a lot?
Yeah, I just remembered the good bits, I think.
The good bits, enjoying The Lion King. No one telling him to stop watching it. Put the screen away.
Yeah, how many times have you watched it, do you think, Hakuna Matata? Quite a few, I'm guessing, right?
So when you think back then to what you went through, what you didn't know, the 8 days in the coma, a few months before the amputation, coming home, to think that he's just achieved this incredible challenge of a 2-mile walk and a 2-mile bike ride, that must be extraordinary.
Yeah, to be in a position like when we're in the family room, I remember seeing where other people had raised money for the hospital and just thinking, I really hope we can get to that stage where we can give back for all the kindness we were shown. And so to actually see him cross the finish line, to see him so fit and well, it was really emotional.
But he is, I mean, he's so amazing. Because obviously there are a whole new set of challenges that come with everything. He's just gone past your wildest expectations now.
Yeah, he gets on with everything. He's very active, he loves school, he's excelling at school, he's just a really happy little boy.
What's your favourite subjects at school, William? Computing, yeah, future programmer.
Yeah, he's going to be super
Mum and Dad will be
clever.
pleased about that.
Yeah.
Now, you're so brilliant at what you've done. You've been nominated, haven't you, for a Just Giving Award?
Yeah, this is all news to William.
This is all amazing. So you've been nominated for a Just Giving Award. So anybody that gets involved in Just Giving, they have these awards for amazing nominees.
There's 18,000 people, Ben, that are
people.
nominated in this.
But the big news is, not only have you been nominated, you've been shortlisted to be one of the award winners this year at the Just Giving Awards, which is amazing. You've been chosen by a lot of celebrity judges, including Amy Dowden and Ellie Simmons, Jake Quickenden, Ricky Hayley-Williams, Adele Roberts. So you're going to go into a big ceremony to see if you've won one of these awards.
One of the finalists.
For all that you've done for those Nottingham Hospital charities, which is great. And also, are you having a special day out today?
Yeah, we're off to the Natural History Museum.
Oh, like the dinosaurs and bits and pieces?
Got to see Andy's clock.
Well, the good news is we've been in touch with the Natural History Museum because we told them that you were coming on the show today and we wanted to celebrate you being here. And the lovely thing is we've managed to sort you out an exclusive VIP tour of the Natural History Museum. We know how much you love nature, so you're going to get complimentary access to their top exhibits, the Wildlife Photographer of the Year and Birds, Brilliant and Bizarre. So the guys down at the Natural History Museum are going to look after you and treat you like the VIPs that you are.
Thank you.
Amazing. Go and see the big whale. It's in the ceiling.
Yeah,
It's
so have a
amazing.
fabulous day. William, well done. Congratulations on this amazing achievement. Have you got plans for a new challenge at some point?
Well, you did one in June, didn't you? How far did you walk in June?
Did 5K in June.
5K, dude.
This is just the beginning.
It doesn't stop.
This is just the beginning for certain sure.
Lovely to meet you all. Thank you for coming.
you.
Thank you.
Have a fabulous day as well.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.